Hello and welcome to episode number 91 of the Destiny Community Podcast. We got a great episode this week for you guys. First off, though, Holtz is not able to make it, unfortunately, this week.
What?
I know, right?
No.
He has been doing some deep research. He's been spotted at the Hot Topic, checking out the goods, and he's from what I can tell, he is trying to moonlight under the command of a certain Iraq Jalal to discover the things that are going on in the Dead Orbit organization. So there's going to be a lot of eyeliner, first off, and a lot of Hot Topic purchases in his future.
Yeah.
And currently, actually, because I think he was just recently spotted there. So
he was, yeah.
So he can't make
He's
the
there
podcast,
right now.
unfortunately. Yeah.
That was a lot of words, Tefty, for Holtz got a job as head cashier at Hot Topic.
Wait a minute, I thought Holtz works for the podcast.
He works for the podcast. He's trying to expand his horizons. I mean, you know, it doesn't. You
He's
can't
discovering
put on,
himself.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
can't put
all
a
went through a phase. Joker.
We all went through it.
I think Holtz probably already owned several Jokers.
Yeah.
He
before.
probably does.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, God bless him. It's a tough work. It's dirty. He's going to need many showers, lots of acid peel, whatever, to get all that stank
Lots
off.
of eyeliner. Yeah.
I'm sure he's got plenty of Axe for that.
Yeah.
Yes. Lots of grease in his hair.
Keep it
It's gonna
smelling
be
fresh.
Oh my gosh. Well, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Not
that
so
we
good,
have-
really. I've had a rough week, and
I'm not.
probably didn't really care.
Rough week, but you don't care?
You're the.
I don't know. I was trying to make a joke. It didn't work.
It was like, no, Brian, what's wrong? Let's talk about it.
It's good to know when you tank. Yeah.
Everybody always says good, and never mind. If you got to explain it, it just means it's twice as funny, right?
True.
No.
Yeah.
It means you.
Josh, how you doing?
Josh,
Josh?
can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh,
Hey,
Sorry.
how you doing?
Hold on. It cut out for a second. I'm here.
welcome.
Welcome.
Did I miss my intro?
No, Breyer's just not firing on all cylinders right now. He tried to do a lead-in for you and just
Yeah.
he went from bad joke to bad
was
lead-in.
like
It's a bad lead-in.
So I'm excited to have Josh Stein on. He's the community manager from Mixer. Really appreciate you taking the time to come on tonight. I know it's past your, just getting past your work hour. And, since community managers only work 9 to 5, right?
On paper.
On paper, for sure. So thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, no, it's been a blast to be on and join. I mean, we've just been talking through the pre-show. It's been great. Thank you guys for inviting me. It's always fun to get on shows like these and talk about anything from video games to community, things I obviously care a lot about. Probably the half of everything that I do in life is community, and the other half is games. So I'm always happy to chat with you guys and fellow people who love it just as much.
So would you categorize yourself as like a hardcore gamer? Have you been? How long have you been playing video games? What's your first console?
My first console was an NES, and it was
Nice.
Is
We're
it still
judging you
here?
right now. By the way,
It's right
We're
here.
judging you.
Oh, you have
Hold
it?
on.
You been in the office?
This is my first game I ever played.
Oh, what is it?
And I have it here, and I keep
That's
it on my
awesome.
wall.
Turtles?
It's
TMNT.
the Ninja Turtles.
Awesome.
Oh,
the
yes.
Ninja Turtle ones.
Have you ever
So
beaten
I
it, Josh?
keep it. Nope.
Yeah, it was hard.
That is a tough game.
Nope. But I kept it, and so I've got the memory of it. And but that was my first console that my mom bought me. And ever since then, I played a little bit on Atari. I loved Gauntlet. I played Gauntlet at my grandma's.
Yep.
So some OG Gauntlet back in the day, and then obviously progressed through all the console generations. So I have probably a controller in hand since at least probably 6 or 7, and ever since, and now well over 30.
It's great, man.
You're right now. You're the community manager over at Mixer. But when did you? What was your first job in the video game industry?
It was actually almost 5 years ago to date. I just hit my 5-year anniversary in the gaming industry.
Nice.
Which is a feat amongst itself. It's very, very competitive, very hard industry. But my first job actually was customer support. I'm actually a software engineer. I went to school. I got a degree. I became a software engineer. I would deploy patches for grocery store servers for the western seaboard coast. And I did that, and I was miserable. I got so efficient at my job that I could do it in that 2 hours sliver in the morning, and then I would spend the other 6 hours on Reddit and G4.
Sounds like the perfect job.
It was. And I don't know what, my boss supported me. He was super cool with it. He was like, as long as you get your stuff done, I really don't care. But to a point where I was sitting there, I remember E3, I would schedule meeting blocks, and I'd schedule meeting rooms, and I would just sit in there and listen to E3s or watch E3s. But I hated it. It just wasn't passionate. It paid the bills, and that's all it did. But then, just to be real for a minute, I went on a hunting trip with my father, and which we did regularly. He always wanted to go hunting. I never cared for the outdoors. I'm a pudgy little Gimli-shaped nerd. I like to play video games and stay inside. And so my dad, much more athletic, was like, "No, we go hunting here in Idaho. That's what we do, son." So
boy,
he would drag. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, literally. Holy cow! I didn't even think about that. Oh my gosh! I just had a wave of flashbacks. Where he was like, "Oh man." Yeah, literally, he'd be like, "Boy, we hunt today."
Pick up your arrow, boy.
And so, yeah, right. So he would drag me out there. He'd give me a gun that was 7 times as tall. So I'm a pretty short guy, though. I'm only 5'3", so I'm a pretty vertically challenged man. And so there'd be this gun that'd be way taller than me, and he'd be like, "Hold this, boy." He'd aim, shoot, kill things. Anyways, so this was a yearly ritual in the summers when I'd visit him, and I visited him. He took me hunting. I had already gone through a divorce, and so I was like, "Well, what am I doing? Life, I don't know." And I hate my job. And so he looks at me, and I always thought Dad liked his job, and so he's a long haul truck driver. And he's very good at it. He's very passionate about it. And he's just very meticulous. He was always the guy that, you would see those classic movies and everyone would gather around the water cooler and talk to him. He'd be the guy that'd wrangle them. So he was always kind of the ringleader. So everyone always looked up to him, and I looked up to him. And I always thought he liked his job, and he was like, no. He just flat out just started talking. We were just sitting on this hill. He just started talking about how much he hated his job his whole life. And he only did it because it paid the bills and it took care of us kids. And I just was and it blew my mind at mid-20s, going through my own little crisis of, I'm not married anymore. I hate my job. I don't know. I was going through a phase in my life, and listening to somebody I looked up to so long and who I thought was this pillar of steel, iron, show me all these holes and chinks and rusts. And I don't know. And I still to this day, I never came out and asked him what caused that. He just did it. Anyways, I went home, and I went and picked up my kids, and I was hanging out with my kids, and I'm looking at my son, and I'm looking at my daughter, and they're filling out some coloring book, and they were talking about being an astronaut. It was a coloring book about jobs and careers, astronauts, firemen. And my son was asking me "Daddy, what do you do?" Anyways, I just had this epiphany of I'd flash forward 10 years looking at my children and explaining to them what I do, and how it just I literally was my father, just paid the bills. It took care of the kids. And so at that point I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. So I started.
The kids are on your own.
Right. You're on your own. I'm
Pick
out.
up the bow.
No. I just handed him the bow, broke it in half, handed him each a stick, and said, "Fight it out, and I'm done."
Deer is that way.
No. Basically, yeah, I just kind of had that epiphany moment. So I started applying for things, and then funny enough, I had a Twitter account that I opened for a psychology paper about social media in college, and I never used it. So I went back and I started using it and started playing with social media. I started following people in the gaming industry. I realized, snap, I can connect to people. I can talk to them. I can reply with memes and GIFs, and they can think I'm funny and like it. And then my hero can have a video game, can like my dumb meme. And circling it around, basically applied for everything, Microsoft gave me 3 chances, and I flubbed all the interviews. None of them were in gaming, though. They were all like technical. I was using my computer science background. And so I eventually focused more on the gaming side, and they had openings for at Xbox support. So I don't know if you remember that. It's still a Twitter handle to this day, but it had just been freshly minted. Like the team had been created. They just won a Guinness World Book of Records. It was 1 year before the Xbox One launch. And sure enough, 6 months later, I was tweeting a couple of people on the team because I was trying to network a little bit, tweeting some of the people on the team, getting them to know my name. Applied for the job with Steineken, my handle, and then put Steineken on my resume. And the guy was like, wait a minute, this guy's tweeting us. His resume's here. I'm going to give him a call. So he gave me a call, and I was like in the middle of a deployment too. So like I paused the deployment and took the call. And I took the interview, and they were like, yeah, well, and it was pretty much, it came down to, we'll cut your pay into nothing because you're going to go from a release engineer with 5 years experience to customer service on a Twitter handle. That's so there was no relocation in it because it was a temp position. It was a vendor role, which was new to me because in Idaho, like there's not a big tech industry. So the whole vendor role, thing, it was new to me. Yeah. I was like, wait, I do what? I work for who? But I went home, talked to my dad. Even my dad said, this is a bad idea, son. Like, you own a house. Like, holy cow. Like, that literally, he was like, you own a house. Don't piss this away. My mom was like, video games are stupid. What? Those things that I used to yell at you about, whatever. Like, very cliche. My friends were all like, dude, like, you're going to, we'll miss you. You're going to lose a lot of money. Anyways, I slept on it, woke up the next day, and asked myself a very easy question. And it was actually my current wife, which is who I was just had met at the time. And she's like, hey, ask yourself one question. In 3 years, will you say what if, or will you just be happy? And I was like, okay, well, 3 years as a software engineer, I'll be a senior software engineer. Maybe we buy a bigger house. We still live in Idaho. We've never left. We might just die in the state. And then the other side was, I don't know, man. If I join this, if I go on this roller coaster, if I say screw it and take a risk, I literally don't know what it could mean. And based off that, I did it. I jumped. I quit my job. Everyone thought I was batshit crazy. I jumped right in. I lost all my pay. I sold my house. I lived off that money for like 6 months to make it work. And I crunched. I got the worst shift too. I got like the midnight to 6 a.m. shift on the tweet fleet. So like I would literally go
That's
to bed.
That's gotta be rough with kids. Ouch.
Well, yeah, it was rough too because I had to move away from them. So we had to work out visiting with my ex, and so we all figured out. Man. We figured out all the personal stuff, but it was a life-changing experience. Midlife crisis at what, 26?
Quarter life crisis.
But I mean,
got that out.
Man, I networked right. Pull this Band-Aid off early, just get it out there. But I don't know, man. I busted my butt. I networked. I remember I would come in on my days off and just buy coffee in the atrium, and it sounds like a loser now saying it out loud, but I would buy coffee in the atrium, and I would eat lunch here in the Commons on the Microsoft campus just so I could run into people and talk to them about gaming and nerd out. Yeah, and then
you got to do that.
You have to networking. No one taught me this either. Like I was a software engineer. No one taught me you have to network. You have to talk to people. You have to be personable. I was this short little nerd who just wanted to play video games and try to figure out.
So Josh, I first you are so good at that. And that's the funny thing is like I met you long time ago, but when you were still at Xbox, through Deej introduced me to you because I was thinking about going into the video game industry, and I was trying to find like as a community manager, and I asked him if he could connect me with anybody so that I could get idea of what the job entailed and talk to people.
Yeah,
and he connected me to you, and you had some like pretty spot on advice for like how to get in, how to network, and like just be present and understand that it is a grind, and getting to meet people. It's part of the job. It's connecting to others and being a part of that,
But what I quickly learned is nobody was handing it out. Everyone was too busy. And it's not nobody gave a crap about me or this weird little kid who was super hyper about the industry. It was more like everyone was so busy because this industry is so demanding as a job. Like compared to like I've worked like over a dozen different jobs from an Italian, like I worked in an Italian restaurant to engineer to I worked for the state of Idaho's legal department for a bit. Like I worked in a lot of various roles, and none of them were as demanding. And it just because there's an emotional demand in gaming, in my opinion, that is required, especially in a community role. Yeah. And so I feel like I went way too far back in the story time there.
Like, no, this is great. It's super interesting.
You have no childhood memories.
Well, you know what? It's important because there's a whole lot of people in the chat who don't know you from, you know, some may know you and some, you know, don't. And it's important that they understand like how to get into the industry, because I feel like there's a lot of people out there who want to get into video games, but they don't know really what it takes or how to start. Yeah. And so a big part of it is personal experience. You know, it's one of those things that I really appreciated about Bungie when they used to do the Breaking In series on the Bungie.net, you know, on the Bungie website, was like getting a chance to hear everybody's individual story, because it really sunk into me that there is many different paths to get where you want to go. And they're not, they're just not all the same. And what I really love about your style, and like, I don't want to jump too far forward because I do want to talk about, you know, some of the stuff that's gotten you to where you are. But Mixer, it seems like your leadership of Mixer has been just so like positive focused as a company. I know you guys are trying to create market share, like, and you know, I think people see you as a competitor to Twitch, but you don't come across that like that's a thing. And I want to talk to you. I wanted to like delve into your philosophy of Mixer and as community management within that, because that's just so unique not to see. I mean, unique to see. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So there's lots of sorts of there's lots to unpack there. There's a lot of personalities in this industry, from literally every spectrum. And I think a lot of people in this industry, they only see slivers of these people and slivers of us. Sometimes it's what people want you to see, and sometimes it's what they don't want you to see. It's a very interesting dynamic. I mean, you get a whole spectrum. You get the rainbow with this industry, which is a great thing in my opinion. But with that, obviously, comes a lot of responsibility on a lot of sides. The way I look at it, and this is more my mantra about who I am, is I'm actually can be a pretty big pessimist. I think, you know, the world's kind of a crappy place. You know, today in the news was no shortage of that. So today, you know, it just kind of sucks. And when I was growing up with my mom, she was a single mom, and things weren't really great. We were pretty broke, and there were some hard times there, but nobody was there to help her out. So it was just me as like, I just remember being an 8-year-old and like helping her like throw newspapers at like 4 a.m. just so we could, you know, get some grocery money. And she couldn't afford a babysitter, so we had to use video games for that. So video games for me was an escape into a world where I don't have to worry about bills as being an 8-year-old, helping my mom take care of this at 4 a.m., going to school, taking care of my little sister. I didn't have to focus on those things. I could just enjoy myself. I could be Leonardo and just have a sword and just swing it and just have the time of my freaking life. And then, you got to unplug it. You got to go back to real life. And that's kind of my approach in a long shot to social media, to my own mantra is there's so much bad out there. Like, and it takes me no effort to put a little good out there. Like a great example is a lot of people give me crap for how many selfies I take. I take a lot of selfies. Spoiler alert for those who don't follow me. There's a lot of selfies, but it's about me. I'm being a nerd. I got this cool piece of swag I bought, and I want to show it off. And you can't see, but there's engrams right here. Like I got swag on swag.
Your swag collection. Like I was so jealous when you moved from Xbox.
I even got a little ghosty right here.
Oh man! Right when you moved from Xbox to Mixer, and you did like a moving out like this, it was like a sad moment for you, where you had to like box up. Yeah, you had to box up your office after like. I was just so tearful for you. It was like the worst garage sale where you went there to buy something from somebody and they're like, this is something really special.
It was. And actually, you didn't see it, but I posted on Slack, like, the picture. I actually had to schleff a lot of it off. And so there's a picture, and it's just a graveyard of swag laying there, and I'm like crying as I'm like, first come, first serve, swag takers. And then I'm watching everybody come by and like vultures snatch the swag off this table, and I'm just like.
But you want to tell everybody the history to each piece, where you got it, who gave it to you. You're like,
right,
yeah,
right. It's important, and. I got on a swag tangent, but I love swag, obviously. I buy a lot of it. I spend too much on it. It's about positivity for me. Yeah. It takes me no effort to be a dork and show off these engrams. Like when I got those engrams, I literally huddled them up, and I think I had one pop out of my beard. And I like the yellow engram, like pop out of my beard. But that's it. Like I was like, if I just make one person smile, enjoy this during their crappy, shitty day, it's worth it. And that's my same approach to community management. People are upset, people are angry, but at the end of the day, what is their core thing? Is they want to be heard or they want to be communicated to. Mm-hmm. And so those are the two things that I look at. I either need to listen to somebody or I need to communicate to them. So I look at it like almost like a sheep herder, in a sense. I don't own the flock. It's not, in a sense, it's not mine. But it has been my charge for the shift to, watch the wall and take care of them. And sometimes that means I have to translate Microsoft E's to them or Xbox E's or Mixer E's to this community. And then I have to take communities and translate it back to engineers and corporate people, which ironically is where my degree actually for once came in handy, being able to like translate that back over to them. So, yeah. That's my approach to community management. I think there's too much competition out there. We talked about it, I talked about it with you a little bit, Pope, how I firmly believe that the Xbox would not be as good of console without the PlayStation. I think the PlayStation would not be as good as console without the Xbox. Mm-hmm. Like I firmly believe, but at the base level, not at the catty level, not at this. I like to call it the console Cold War because that's what it is. It's just a Cold War. Nobody's into it. It doesn't stick to the wall. It's just everyone rolls their eyes in a room. And the funny thing is when I joined the industry, what blew my mind is when I went to my first E3, we all got drinks together. They're like Nintendo people are drinking, Sony people are drinking, Xbox. We're all just having cocktails, celebrating a dope E3. And I was like, oh my God, I love this industry. I want to work in this industry for the rest of my life. And I think so many people don't see that outside the industry because, and we, to be honest, we should do a better job at showcasing that. But people love clicks, people love retweets, people love favorites. But I will tell
the
you,
Xbox
with the Mixer
team
community,
and Nintendo, their Twitter game has been strong this week. Kind of jamming
you guys love
at
that?
Sony.
That was so great. I heard about that, and when the Xbox, I talked to the Xbox social team a lot. When they told me about it, I was so excited. I was sitting there texting my contact over there, and like, oh my God, what are we gonna say back? And he's like, just wait. And then they send it, and he'd be like, oh yeah. So I think the common DNA here is games. It's games. That's the common DNA here.
Yeah.
You don't say games with Sony. You don't say games with Xbox. You don't say games with Nintendo. You say games with games. Like it's just one word. And so that's how I approach community management. Man, woman, everyone who identifies in between, troll, hater, core, fan, everything in between, they all speak one language, and that's what the project you're on. So I've been fortunate enough to work on a couple of projects here through Xbox and now on the Mixer, but that's what everybody on Mixer speaks. But I like the challenge and the difference here because I think Microsoft I've worked on many products here in the last 5 years, but this is the first product where they've said, nah, whatever platform, go support it. And they're like, there's a tennis game coming out on Switch. They're like, yeah, what do you want to do? Do you want money? How do you want to do? You want a community initiative? It's really cool and interesting and very different to see the challenge that they say, nah, go support it. PlayStation God of War is a great thing where they came and they're like, oh yeah, you guys talking to Sony Santa Monica? And we're like, yeah, we're talking to Sony Santa Monica. And they're like, great, what are you doing? And we reskinned Mixer for the launch day, and that was super cool to work with them. And they're like, this is okay? People are asking us this, and it's like, no, this is freaking great. So I like that approach. I like the challenge that it gives. It really kind of stretches people.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Mixer and what it is for those people that are listening that maybe aren't familiar with the platform and what it does in the video game industry.
Yeah. So I think it's great. Competition is always good. Mm-hmm. Like, let's just get that off, rip the Band-Aid off. Competition is great because everybody benefits. But the great thing about this is I love working on games, and I was very fortunate to work on a couple games. But specifically what I love is the fact that I now get to work on a community. I don't have to work on a game. So at Mixer, and that's also the other thing is everyone cares. Like, I keep looking around me because I'm in my office and I'm surrounded by dashboard programming, front page programming. Our head of partnerships is over here. Biz devs over here. Front end development's behind me. So like all these people around me, but they all get it and they all speak community because
that's right.
We're not here for the URL. We're not here, and I know that sounds counterintuitive, but the way we approach things is we don't approach things as, how do I care about mixer.com/Steiniken? That's not what we care about. You can cut all of that crap and that BS and that URL out, and you can just focus on the Steiniken part, the content creator. Insert whatever name you want. That's the piece that we care about. That's the piece that engineers care about. That's the piece that all the team cares about. And so when we build features, when we talk to the community, when we go to events, that's what we want to make sure our main focus is on the content creator. Are we doing what's right for them? Not what's right for the URL to the left of that, but what's right for the content creator on the right side of that.
And so content creators use the Mixer platform a lot like we use Twitch, right? It's a method in which people can stream games. It has a lot of the same features that Twitch has. I'm going to ask you some basic questions because, maybe I don't know about it. So, can a person get partnered through Mixer and
absolutely,
and do it as a living?
And there's a lot of nuances there. So so Mixer is a streaming platform through and through. It supports both gaming content and non-gaming content. We have a very passionate artistic community. There's a lady who cooks and then she themes things. So she'll make a Metroid Prime themed watermelon bouquet, and I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Wow. That's awesome. And she'll today we're making Master Chief chips, and I'm like, oh, what are these? And they're like little home cut potato chips. So there's non-gaming, and then there's gaming. Gaming is I always look at that as the Hollywood appeal. That's why people come to the front door, but then they stay for the gaming content, the personalities, the content creators. But yeah, we fully partner people. We have partnership requirements. They're all public and viewable. So, because a lot of people always ask, we support every platform that we can. So we are not, because Xbox purchased it, does not mean that we are Xbox. We are actually universal. So again, like I was noting before, we support PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch. In fact, today I'm probably a little sweaty because we did an LFG show, a Looking for Group show, where we played the Nintendo Switch game and we were playing with viewers. And it was great. And we streamed it for an hour. We were on the front page of the Xbox dashboard. We get full support there, which is great. But yeah, partner program. We have monetization in the works as well. We just pumped out direct purchase for our partners. So there's a lot, so the whole monetization story is now coming together, which is great. And then we have our innovative features, obviously faster than light technology, meaning you have sub-second latency on your streams. So you can tweak them to get 0.02 second, which is crazy. It's like a Skype call this. It's still unreal. And I love it because it gives me that couch feel with my friends, but with 50, 60 people watching in my friends. So that way when you you nail that headshot or that golden gun kill, you get that one shot right there and that clutch win, everybody cheers with you. And I freaking love that instead of we boom and then you freak out. And then you're just standing in there alone, and then everybody cheers. So the sub-second latency, great. Another thing, because we're about community, interactivity is always a big part of it. So we have a full mixed play suite, we call it. But literally, people have huge and giant interactive boards where you can do something silly as a sound, or you can do fun emotes and memes. You can have stuff happen on your screen. So it gives your community something to interact with you, the streamer. But games are paying attention to that now. So now our games are taking advantage of that. Smite's taking advantage of that. For example, not shilling and plugging, but they're just a good example of Smite they're doing a leaderboard bracket system now, so you can click and interact with the leaderboards and your favorite team member.
That's cool.
You can see their stats ranking. Like, so game developers are on this platform. We're in Minecraft. You can literally, every command in Minecraft can be an interactive button, which is great. So we did a stream like that where they were spawning pigs on us, and we were trying to kill the pigs as fast as we could, and we were drowning in pork. It was hilarious. It was a fun little thing. So yeah, we have the interactivity, and then again, we're just really about building a positive community. And what's great is so many people on the team are content creators. So many people, the founders, the 2 co-founders, still stream to this day on a regular weekly basis. And awesome. Who invented Beam, which then became Mixer. So what I like it feels like a content creator's creating a content creator platform. So that's cool. That's my spiel.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But kind of when people ask me about Mixer, that's kind of the spectrum I try to give them about the features, the interactivity, and what we're about.
There's a little more. There's more to it too. I believe there's more to it right now because I feel like for so long Twitch has been sort of the big kid on the block. There's really been no other competition out there. And they've done a really good job of developing and building the platform for streaming. Mm-hmm. Partnering with Amazon has obviously created a lot of security for them, and they've allowed to connect with Amazon Prime. And there's a lot of things that they've been able to do. And it seems like now that, and I feel like other companies have tried to compete with them, but haven't really put, haven't been able to make headway. And it feels like for the first time we have Facebook gaming and Mixer gaming out on the news right now, and at least enough that I'm hearing it on social media, and people, content creators, are making moves over to Mixer. And I was kind of curious, why do you think that's happening in the industry right now of all times?
So I think, first of all, Twitch has made an amazing platform. I have many friends who work for it, who are partners and affiliates. I'm a very big fan of what they do and what they preach. I love the Amazon acquisition was great for them. They were really able to ramp up for the masses. But I think streaming has become so popular now. Like, there's literally statistics out there where people watch more stream. They watch more games streamed than they actually play games. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you take every hour that people play games and every hour that view games, like, the view games is actually – so people are viewing them. It's the new Saturday morning cartoons for all my 90s kids out there. Like, it is our but it's so universal. It's not just kids. It's everyone. It's spectrum. Like, it's – all over the range. Like, my mom even now is starting to dabble in it. She's 60 years old. She's starting to get curious. I think it just came to a point where the demand is so big that there is so much room that everyone can coexist. And I know that's, the peaceful me and me talking, but I skew positive on this because I think there's so much room for us all to exist, all to challenge each other. And the content creator and the viewer is who's gonna benefit in the end. It's less about the monetization. It's less about the monetary value of what's the penny value worth of a streamer or the dollar worth. But it's more of what's the worth to the community. And I think all of these are creating great competition. And what you're seeing is a variety of spice. So the way I look at it is people love Netflix. People love Hulu. Some people are very loyal to Netflix. Some people are very loyal to Hulu. Some people use both. I think it's great. I've been seeing so many, like, for example, my Twitch friends creating Mixer accounts, Mixer account friends creating Twitch accounts. They're cross-mingling, which is, in my opinion, the best thing that could happen is for them not to try to, I bleed blue, I bleed purple, but, like, I don't know what to make the analogy, but, like, I bleed content creator. Like, I'm more about the viewer and the content creator. So I think you're just seeing variety. Like, a great example is I love the hell out of me some Taco Bell and pizza. Those are my favorite things in the world. Like, I love Taco Bell and I love pizza. My wife can't stand Taco Bell. I know. I'm sorry. Oh, no. I'm getting the disapproval. I've allianced wrongly.
We are pro Taco Bell here.
We're pro Taco Bell.
We have a thing with Taco Bell.
Oh, did I just bring up a really controversial topic?
Can I get some Taco Bells in the chat here? They're already there.
There's literally a Taco Bell emote. That's great. I see that in chat.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. I love the Taco. So
it's not a Taco Bell emote. It's a Tefty Bell.
It's a Teft
which
Bell.
Is different.
Oh.
It's a Teft Bell. Otherwise,
Okay.
we'd need a
No
copyright.
copyright.
That's hilarious. right. Well, we have to make sure we're logo savvy. That's great. So I love Taco Bell, but for example, my wife prefers McDonald's when we want to eat like garbage, right?
Sure.
So
Garbage.
I look at the streaming community like the same. Like we're all garbage and
We're all
half of us
garbage.
love Taco Bell and half of us
We're all
love
garbage and
McDonald's.
bad for you.
There we go. I just
that's
think
awesome.
it's variety, it's choice, it's flavor.
So you think
also you can have both.
Yeah, so you think there's a point where there's enough streaming on, streaming games, streaming live media on has become, it's reached a critical point where it's popular enough, it's mainstream enough. Drake has been, jumping in. All these people are started to jump in that are part of pop culture and are jumping in and introducing people to streaming, that you think that companies like Mixer and it's come onto the radar of Microsoft, of Facebook, of these companies that want to take a piece of it. Do you think we're going to be seeing more more companies like that enter this and challenge Twitch? Or
my honest opinion, I wouldn't say challenge a company. I would say to challenge the industry. I would feel like you're going to see more companies come up and it's going to challenge the industry as a whole. I think there's always room. A great example is I don't think it's always going to be Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. I firmly believe in the next couple of years, we're going to see 2 or 3 more contenders jump in that ring in the next 5 years, maybe 10 years. I look at the streaming as the same way. It's going to be competitive. I think you're going to have your big companies. You're going to have the big guys and girls stepping into these rings and weighing in there. And I think they'll set the standards and the precedents. But I would honestly hope, and I know it may sound counterproductive, I hope that there's healthy competition. I hope these rusty little startups come up and challenge the status quo. That's what Beam did. It's literally these 2 guys, James and Matt, like sitting in their it is literally almost Silicon Valley, but way less drugs and and drama. But it's almost the same. Like these guys just literally were just going at it, and then they're like, "Oh, I can market things," and he's like, "Oh, I can engineer things." Smash. There's the product, and it's Beam. And they go to TechCrunch, and then they win a TechCrunch award, and then Microsoft buys them, and then innovates and says, "Here's a ton of people, go make it amazing." So I think that's always going to happen in the tech industry. I don't think we're anywhere near critical mass in the streaming industry. I don't even think we're even in a crest. I think literally we're just on that velocity into orbit right now. And I think
we're at a point where in the next 5 years we're going to see a big multimedia company like CNN or Fox or that level of company, Disney. I think somebody along those lines that has media broadcasting in the cable networks is going to purchase one of these or build one of these. I think they're going to purchase one of these companies that's coming up and make a serious challenge and start cross-promoting content where you can get professional shows, live shows, via their platform with ads mixed in with other content creation like games and things like that. I see it happening in the next 5 to 10 years. It's only a matter of time before these companies realize the market share that's out there for live broadcasting.
I would agree. I don't think it's hit mainstream yet because you don't see these companies kind of really paying attention, but you're seeing that threshold where it's starting to like hit that more trendy area of media and mainstream. And then that just kind of starts to roll over naturally. And then like I said, I think sports is a big opportunity. You're seeing plays in that area. And I think about what content's being pushed, like, because we're all old enough to remember cable when everyone had cable. There was no Netflix. There was no Hulu. Like it was just cable or nothing, or satellite. There we go. Or like The Wire, if you're way back in the day. But I think it's just you're seeing the next generation of multimedia. You had cable, and then you had that Netflix generation, and now you're moving to streaming. Like people stream more than they play games on their consoles. I mean, Netflix and Hulu's hour per hour is a beast compared to any Destiny, Skyrim, Red Dead, GTA, anything. Right. And so
I'd love to see sports come,
you're just
like
seeing
you
the next
said.
evolution.
If sports came, if you could watch live sports, even if they weren't like the majors like the NFL or the MLB, even if it was like your local college sports or whatever, just to have like a live feed of that, or maybe if like a concert, you know, like you could watch a live concert, that'd be amazing, right?
What if you could
Like, all these
co-host a
things.
I was gonna
concert?
say,
That
but
would be so
think
cool.
about the plus ups. Yeah, she's on the right point. Think about the plus ups. If you can co-host your concert with all your friends, what if you could interact with a sports game and pick your camera view you want? Like,
Oh, that'd be dope.
That would be
Like,
amazing.
you just have to think, like all of the features in streaming, but apply that to like these black and white concepts that that are prepackaged that we're so used
Isn't
to
that
over the
something
last
that
decade.
Mixer is messing around with right now with esports? Is that ability to
That's exactly what we're
the
trying.
camera angle?
Yep. So we've actually had a wonderful partnership with Hi-Res, and they've been doing it with their Smite series, where they act because in the standard esports series, or or communications and media, you get your one shot, and then you rotate, and you get your next shot. You know, you go back to the casters, and they're like, "Oh my god, that play! Let's watch the replay." Versus, we have a co-streaming function, for example, where kind of like the Skype call, you can sit up to 4 people all together. But we're seeing Hi-Res use that as a caster cam, and then they've got like the coach cam, which is like the teams being all sweaty and yelling at each other, and then you have the two team. You've got the red team and the blue team cam, but then they can rotate those out. But it's all in one seamless view. It's all in one area. Maybe you don't give a crap about anything but the caster cam, so you close them all out. Yeah, absolutely. We're trying to think of ways of how can people interact with streams outside of just sitting and watching. Like, how do we make you feel part of the stream? How do we get you to care about what's happening? Or if you want to be passive, how do we make the passive experience better? So I love the fact that you can choose the camera view, and that esports is starting to look at these huge, because they spend millions of dollars on these arenas, and then you get one static rotating cam. So I think
Sometimes I feel like the announcers are not like they've got a lot going on, and they're really knowledgeable. But the people in the production booth, maybe that guy isn't an esports fanatic like the casters are, and they're not always picking the right view, right? Or maybe you're big into, Cloud9 or whatever, and you know they keep showing this other team that you're not really interested in, and so you switch over to them. You can select that. You can watch your team that you want to watch. I feel like that's really the next evolution for esports, where like kind of what you guys are playing with Smite, but across the spectrum, where you can give more choice to the live viewer to engage with the content the way they want to engage it with. And I see the next company that's able to provide that across the platforms, a smooth way for content creators to do that, is going to capitalize huge on that.
Yeah, no, we're super excited. And then we just add the interactive layer on it. So then, like I said, with Smite, we announced a little partnership with them where while you're sitting there watching, you can rotate around the teams, check your stats, because people get way into it. They get way into the meta. And so it's cool to see them kind of bounce around and check all that out. And, that's kind of like our phase 1 of it. So, we'll take some feedback, learn from that. And we've got other partners, which would be super cool to even work with from there.
It's really cool.
That's great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Briar, when we announced that Josh was going to be on the podcast, right? Twitter blew up. We got questions for the man.
We do.
Are you ready? Are you ready for these community questions? I, as a community manager, I know you're not used to this kind of
questions.
No.
Direct
I have no idea what it's like to take live fire rounds from the community in a foxhole.
All right, good. Well, we got you on your heels. We're gonna keep firing.
It's all right.
The first question comes in from Deej. Ask him about the airplane ride home from PAX East 2017, the one with the professional ski team on board.
Sounds like he has some inside here.
So I guess if he wants me to share the story, I sent him a text and I was like, all right. We realized we were on the same flight, so we moved seats to sit together. So we're like, hey, we'll shoot the crap, we'll chat away. And so we were. So 2 funny parts about that flight. Both, it was very uncomfortable. 60% of it was a professional softball, volleyball. It was a female professional sports team of a college, you could tell. And so they had so many oversized bags. It's like one of those scenarios, like so many oversized bags, so none of us could put our bags in the plane. They all tend to brought like 16 bags of gear with them each, I swear. They took forever to get on. Like, it's just, it's coordinating just a massive group. So it's kind of like uncomfortable. Everything's kind of massive laid. It's all over the place. They're forcing us to check our bags, etc. And sure as shit, we get up in the air, and turns out a couple of them decided, let's kind of chill out on the plane a little bit. Let's take a little something to just kind of mellow our mood out. And whatever it was a little too much, because next thing we know, there's like someone I think was crying, and then there's someone in the back with an IV in her arm.
Whoa!
I'm not like she basically had herself a little bit too much of a good time.
Wow.
And ended up with an IV because she was a little too dehydrated for the relaxation medication that she took. And then on top of all this, I swear we had Terry Crews, or like a linebacker for like the Rams, as our flight attendant, because I'm in the middle seat. I'm a little guy. I love the middle seat, man. I get to crisscross my legs, sit up, throw them back. I feel great. I don't need extra leg room. I got all the leg room. And Deej he's a pretty normal sized man, and he had the aisle. And so, but that lady, every time she came in, just wham! like we're just sitting there, both nodding off, and all of a sudden, like I feel Deej go like get jolted physically and ram into me. So yeah, like the girl in the back's got an IV. The other ones are freaking out. The coaches are like, "Oh my god!" And then meanwhile, this linebacker, and every time she came down the aisle, she just checked him hard. Like, I swear he had like 16 bruises by the time we were done. But it was just like he's sitting there eating, and she's just like, wham! And he's just like, oh God. It's just, so it was probably like the worst flight. He was miserable when it was over. And I just was like, I'll see you later. And he's like, yeah, I'll see you later. So he wanted to bring it up, but that was probably one of the most entertaining and interesting flights we ever had.
Mr. Goodbites has a question for you.
It was not what you were expecting.
Mr. Goodbites has a question. When you're streaming, what's your favorite drinking snake?
My drinking snake?
Yeah, this is extremely
important. So when you're streaming, you like to have a drink around and a snake around. What are your favorite drinks and snakes?
Chad is judging you on this answer, by the way. Drink and snake.
The snake part's throwing me off a little bit.
Just embrace it. Go with it.
Pretty normal question. Yeah. I don't understand.
My drink is usually a red Cabernet. Choice. Yeah. I'm a wine guy. I just love wine. So I love red wines. So it's usually that or some Stein whiskey. I got a family that does a distillery in Oregon. So we, some of that. Oh, and snake. I used to catch rattlesnakes in Idaho as a kid, so go with the rattlesnake. I don't know if I'm answering this completely wrong.
No, that's
this is probably one of the better answers.
Nerves of steel up in there. Got some Cabernet and a rattlesnake around.
When I think about what I used to do, I used to literally just take a big stick, and that's how I'd catch rattlers out in Idaho.
You serious?
Oh my God.
Probably like when I'm 12, and then I would skin them, and I'd be like, Dad, look what I did. I did a manly thing for you. And he'd be like, good job, boy. Go get another.
Holy crap.
Oh my God. Like, I'm realizing my dad is Kratos. But my mom, this is before my parents separated, and my mom would freak out. No, this was when I was younger. I was like 7. Yeah, I was like super young.
Get me a rattlesnake, boy.
But I literally would remember
that would make a great sub alert
to
just start shaking a rattler around.
Yeah.
I'm honestly amazed I didn't get bit, because I caught like 6 of those things, and it was
at 12 years old.
Probably not smart.
At 7?
No, it was more at 7. Like Dad would be there, he'd be like shooting rabbits. Yeah, I would just have a big stick, and you just pin them in the back of the neck, and then you just run up real quickly and grab them, and just not piss your pants like they're gonna get loose.
Yeah, like you're gonna get bit and then die. That's amazing, man.
I was a little bit of a country boy.
Yeah, no kidding. That's amazing.
Oh my God. Hugo Rune 79 says many streamers have moved to Mixer as other platforms become oversaturated in order to grow their channels. Is this trend inherent to the streaming industry? And if so, is it one that can be avoided?
I mean, My honest rebuttal there would be, I don't think this should be avoided. I think we should always have variety, and I think we should always have choices as viewers, as content creators, any industry in the world where you have one option or two options, in my opinion, isn't a healthy industry. Because there's not enough to challenge. There's not enough to grow and innovate. So
it's the YouTube problem right now.
My honest opinion is there just needs to be options and growth. And you are seeing people migrate, but I think you're seeing people migrate because they're seeing this might fit my flavor, this might fit my community, this might fit my mantra. If it true, like let's be honest, if something was truly a bad product, everyone would leave. A new product would come out, it'd be great, everyone would just leave. And that's not happening, and that doesn't need to happen. It's just choice. So I think what you're seeing is like a ballast settle a little bit. So there's new. Again, I think literally they could be the same exact size and never touch each other, never bump into each other. But
as
I think
a
you're just
content creator, I'm excited that you guys are out there, that Facebook is out there, that like there's a bunch of people doing this because like I also do YouTube videos. And there's no place else to put those YouTube videos. I'm very much locked into YouTube. So like I see two sides, right? On the streaming side, I have choice and I have variety and I have opportunity. On YouTube, I've got YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. Even though I stream on Twitch, I want a lot of success for Mixer and Facebook and everybody.
Yep. Your chat's pointing out a great example. It's like ISPs. It's exactly like nobody is happy, in my opinion, in North America with our ISP situation. And I'm not going to unpack that, but we don't want that in the streaming industry. So yeah, I don't think it's great choices. That's why one thing a lot of people find out is there's not like you must only stream here and you will only stream here forever. It's like, no. Green Skull is one of our amazing partners, big Halo fan. He streams on Facebook all the time, and then he comes streams, and he's a Mixer partner. So that's something that we want to support. People building their communities where they want to build their communities.
That's honestly one of the aspects of your platform that I think is really friendly, content creator friendly, because it doesn't lock you down into it. Twitch partners can't stream on other platforms. Otherwise, they immediately, they lose their terms of service. They'll lose their partnership. So I think that's really that's a really great option for streamers because they can hit all those other platforms, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Mixer, and really branch out their communities.
Yeah, I think it's just important to have choices at the end of the day.
Gavin Risbridger says, so Mixer is up-and-coming streaming site what would make people who stream on Twitch change platform?
My honest answer is I don't think people should change platform. I think they should just try different platforms. Obviously, if you, read contracts, make sure, I would never wish, bad luck on any one of them not to read their contract and be suddenly be up a creek. But I would honestly, I tell people, try it out. It's the same. It's how I tried Hulu. It's how I tried Facebook. It's how I tried Taco Bell. It's not just like hey, come check us out. But I think there's enough variety. I think the community is super positive and super engaging. That and that's one thing that I think was it Polygon. They literally wrote an article about how positive our community was a couple months ago. It's something we pride ourselves on and try to keep a non-toxic community. Does it have trolls? Yes. Are there trolls? Sure. But we try to make tools to implement to help keep everything a good time, because as you as a content creator, you are making your living doing this sometimes. Sometimes this is your passion project. Sometimes this is your hobby. People are dependent upon this in many, many ways. And so I think it's important for us to make sure that when they do that, it's the most positive experience that they will want for their community or as a viewer in somebody else's community.
Mm-hmm.
James Sifri says, what do you think about industry standards opening up to allow more beards at a professional level? And what is your beard routine?
I think all beards should be welcome in all shapes and sizes, and non-beards.
Did you have a beard when you were killing rattlesnakes? Because I think you did. You must have had a beard at that point.
Actually, funny enough, my ex-wife hated beards, tattoos, pugs, and video games. And now I have 2 pugs. I've got almost a full sleeve going. I work in the video game industry, and I haven't shaved since I was 25. So I'm literally everything about me. And my beard regimen I take very seriously. So I have a wife who lovingly supports my beard, but with care. Because it can get I get this Stein beard, that like my dad's beard. And that thing is like, you can like sand off like a sheet of wood with that thing with one swipe. That's my dad's beard. It's insane. And so I don't want that. So I alternate. Every other day I use beard balm. And then on the alternating days, I use beard wax for shape. And then I condition it every 3rd day to make sure it stays soft. But I do shampoo it regularly as well. So I actually have and then I trim it about every 3 days. I do a little bit of a trim to try to box it back in and keep shape, so I don't look like a homeless man. So I have I have a very I take more care of my beard than the rest of my body, probably. In 100 years, they're just gonna find this carcass, but it's gonna be this pristine little red beard.
The Mangry Gamer says, we've seen a lot of migration of broadcasters, big and small, over to Mixer from Twitch, myself included, and a lot of great features being rolled out to broadcasters on Mixer. But what measures are Mixer pursuing in the short term to drive a larger viewer base?
I mean, there's a lot of things. But our innovation and our features are definitely key core components. I think the positive community is actually worth mentioning in there. Obviously, there is a roadmap. Obviously, there are amazing, awesome things that we're working on that I can't share about today, that people will just have to stay tuned and watch. I don't know if people caught it. This was actually a little thing. So I'll bring it up. We celebrated that we crossed 10 million monthly active users, not just 10 million users, 10 million just monthly active people. Back in December, we made a big celebration about it. It was a big milestone for us. We went to 10 million people who just log in and use Mixer in a month. Phil Spencer was up on the Xbox stage, and he had a little shout out to us. And some people missed this, but he called out that we just doubled our community in 5 months. So nice. Our monthly, so yeah, we just went from 10 to 20, over 20 is what I believe what his exact words were. And some people missed it. Some media outlets caught on to it, and we talked about it. Obviously, we're openly to share it. But yeah, I think we're growing. We're literally doubling and over. I mean, in 5 months, we just cracked in half, which was crazy to think about where we were at 6 months even before that. So I think there's a natural growth progression there because people are migrating, people are trying it out. But again, I would still attest that making user entry-level features like native streaming on the Xbox, for example, you don't need any OBS, you don't need any XSplit, you don't need a laptop, you don't need a PC. Literally, you can get a $50 webcam and your Xbox, and you can start streaming. And then we added overlays to that. So now you can have overlays on those streams.
You have overlays right on the Xbox.
Yeah, that actually works for anywhere. You actually, so what you do is it's like a little middleman. You send your stream to a service called Lightstream, and then that sends the stream to us. But that middleman, you can do it on PC. So what we're seeing is mobile Pokemon Go users, because you can do mobile streaming. They'll come up with their own little custom overlays right there. And you can manage it on a laptop. But you can manage it on a crappy laptop that doesn't do anything. So I think making features that are innovative, I think we're enabling more content creators, and we're working on features to enable more content creators who have never made content before, because you have to think there are thousands and millions of people out there who want to stream, who want to go out and do things, but don't have $2,000 PCs. Mm-hmm. Maybe all they do have is a console. So I think it's a big deal for us, and I think that's where we're looking at. And again, I would say stay tuned. There's way cool features, obviously, that we haven't yet talked about.
Smuston asks, what does Mixer offer to new and baby streamers that other platforms don't?
So we care a lot about the entry-level streamer or the new streamer. And again, one thing is that's literally how Lightstream was created. The community said, great, you put native streaming on the Xbox, but it's so cookie cutter. It's a Connect camera in a corner in my stream. What if I want overlays? What if I want to be right back? I got to get a drink, screen. What if I'm going live animation? Cool. Make those, commission those, download those free ones off the internet, load them into Lightstream. We're also creating features like Hype Zone. So Hype Zone is actually a bot that looks for all, and we have one for PUBG, Fortnite, Rainbow Six, and Realm Royale right now. And it's literally a bot that sniffs everyone's stream so it sniffs all PUBG streams, for example, on Mixer right now. It's looking at them all. And you can opt in or out. So by default, it's opt in. But this is a great example. This is one of my favorite things for new streamers. And I've gotten hosted myself. Basically, it's everyone who gives a crap about that top 10 moments in PUBG or Fortnite or that final match round in Rainbow Six or Realm Royale, whatever. It's like that crunch biting moment. And what it does is like thousands of people are watching this channel. At one point, like it was at 10,000 people are just watching this top 10 bot host you. And it doesn't care if you're a partner. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care if you joined yesterday. It doesn't care if you joined 2 years ago on Mixer and Beam. It literally just looks for that top 10 clutch biting moment. And what you'll see is it'll host somebody. And suddenly someone went from 2 viewers on their first stream to 1,000. And you're like, oh my God. And you see them. And they're freaking out, but they're so excited. And then what you'll notice is a follow train will begin to happen. And they'll get 100, 300 follows in that 1 minute or in that hosting minute. And let's say they're in the top 10 for 10 minutes. And that literally it's like 10,000 people
really cool.
strapped in next to you, cheering you on. Like we gave them custom emotes too. So they're cheering you on. They're emoting. Your channel's blowing up. Your moderator's like, oh, it's all on fire. Oh my God, what's going on? And your follow trains, your host trains are going crazy.
That's cool.
And then like some people choke. Some people obviously like they fail and then they die. But then you see this big old huge smile on their face. And because they're like, oh my gosh, that was the best moment of my streaming life. And maybe they only had like 10 followers before. And it's so special to see those moments. And those are the kind of features that we're looking at. Because I've seen people, I've met a girl, I was watching Hype Zone and it hosted her, and she's a partner now. But it was kind of cool to see her get the Hype Zone back in November when we first launched with PUBG, and now she's a partner now, and just kind of see that growth train of like how excited she was in that first moment in her first 100 followers. So like now I think she's got like almost 20,000 followers and she's growing. So it's crazy.
That's really cool to see.
We're looking at innovating features like that so we can really showcase the small streamer. We have an up and coming. We actually also, a lot of people don't know this. You can make the main page. So the top 5, the front page of Mixer, you can make the front page of Mixer. We save some slots and some areas there for some algorithm-based things, and I've seen people get front page, and they're tagging, Mixer on Twitter, and they're going, "Oh my God, I'm hitting front page!" Because what we'll do is we'll time some people, so we know our partners always get thousands and hundreds of viewers, so it's important and they're part of this too, and it's a learning process to where maybe they can only get featured so many times organically before they won't be able to be featured again for a little bit. And these people get thousands and thousands of viewers, and they get it. They want to support the smaller streamer to help lift them up. So then somebody will get front page for their first time who didn't have to pay for it, didn't have to make a marketing deal and sign some deal with Pepsi and Mountain Dew to get the ad to be placed in front page. So we're looking at ways that how we can innovate kind of our algorithm and give people that front page, and that we want to make them feel empowered.
That's cool.
It's really cool.
It is.
Most interesting Korean says, imagine a runaway boxcar is heading toward 5 people who can't escape its path.
Wait, hold on. Start this over. What?
Okay. Imagine a runaway boxcar is heading toward 5 people who can't escape its path. You can reroute the boxcar onto different tracks with the pull of a lever, with only one person along the new route. What do you do?
Can I go for option C? Can I throw myself in front of the train? Because I love a good tragic hero.
I think 6 people die if you do that.
Honestly, I would go for the one because I would try to pull the move for the greater good. So 5 people could survive versus 1. I would let the 5 survive.
That's a tough question.
It is a tough question because
I think everybody.
You're a passive bystander to the death of 5 people, or you actively killed 1 person, right?
Yeah,
I would rather live with the guilt of that and save 5 humans. I don't know than watch 5 humans and not do anything. I have a terrible tragic hero complex, so it's really bad. And so I would try to save as many as I can.
Are we streaming at the time? That's my question to most interesting Koreans. Am I streaming at the time, and can I put up a straw poll? What should I do, chat? I don't know.
Can chat decide?
man. Get a backbone, Briar. Pull the lever.
I didn't see that question. Interesting.
That was it for questions. I guess we're going to switch over to some Destiny news. We got a lot of Destiny to talk about today.
Got quite the TWAB.
Josh, so some people have one thing we didn't get to cover with you is, and some people in the chat are curious. What's your history with Destiny?
Yeah, my history with Destiny. So always happy to share it. I love it. I moved over here, obviously, before the Xbox One launch, so I got to experience the Destiny launch and all that here locally, which was, oh my gosh, amazing. By the way, as a huge Halo fan, the moment they let me go and do the studio tour for the launch event, I was salivating so much. Like, I still think somebody's mopping up what I left behind, and I feel so bad for the janitors over at Bungie. Sorry, I'm a big Halo nerd. It made me fall in love with online gaming, and so there's a lot of OG people there. It's on Bungie Day, so
you put a little time in the saddle in D1, didn't you?
I did. But yeah, I went over, I did the tour. I was so in for Destiny 1. I collectively, between my two gamer tags, because I got a personal private one and then I got my public one, I put about 1,000 hours in. We were tallying it up earlier, actually. It's hilarious. It's 420 on the dot for my personal tag. But I put in almost 1,000 in D1, and I was Hunter. All D1, Hunter. Year 1, Year 2, Hunter. I remember getting the cloak from the speaker that we talked about with, the wolf cloak with the wolf pack. So proud of that. I took so many damn screenshots and annoyed so many people on social media. I was so in love with that. But I fell in love with the universe, and Hunter through and through, Golden Gun all the way. I was out there. I grew up watching Westerns with my dad, so anytime you can put a 6-shooter in my hand and I can feel like space Clint Eastwood, I'm like, like get me into that. And so
I can forgive your Hunter choice.
And then Destiny 2, I decided my playstyle. So my playstyle isn't Hunter. I was noticing I was dying all the time. Like sword carrying on Crota was the worst for me. I was not good at it because I noticed I would rather see a mob of Thrall, like 50 of them, and be like, and just like run in, guns blazing, but it's like a little squishy Hunter. So I switched to Titan. So I've been playing Titan all of Destiny 2. I'm about 400, 500 hours collectively between the tags. Most of it's on my secondary tag because I've been noticing with Destiny 2, I've been more passively playing with just myself or with one or two close friends versus Destiny 1. I was just like, I was in the LFGs. I was like, all right, who's running this? Who's running that? I ran 3 characters, Hunter, Titan, but let's be honest, I never touched the Titan in Destiny 1. And then, but I will admit, I miss my Hunter. I really love what they've been doing with the Hunters and the play styles, the supers. So this September, and I did transfer my character over because I'm very close to how I built my Hunter. Mm-hmm. EXO all the way. Also, I'm very much EXO man.
You're muted, Pope.
You're muted, Pope.
By the way, we are not letting you get out of this conversation without telling us your faction. So go ahead.
I was trying to avoid factions. But yeah, I think I'm going to go back to Hunter this fall. I think I just miss it. And I transferred him over, so he's there. His name's Norman. I love him.
Norman the Hunter. Norman the Gunslinger?
Norman the Exo Hunter.
Nice. Norman the Gunslinger, yeah. Norman Eastwood. That's what I would actually call him. I'm a full-on nerd. I will admit, I never named my Titan, and my Warlock was just created for an achievement. So let's...
You know what? We can bond on that level. We're good.
Yeah. It's all right. He got me the achievement. I'm okay with it. Now, listen, you need everybody, but for sure. What it counts at the end of the day. So friendly Hunter and factions, I support all factions and their efforts.
That's not an answer.
Mm-hmm. That's not true.
You got it.
Way to ride the fence.
It's a ball face lie.
Who does Norman align with?
So Norm Eastwood has an alliance, and this is actually a very hot topic because behind me
Oh no,
is my
hot
fellow
topic.
community manager.
Is that a sign?
No,
Oh, no.
It's so behind me is my fellow community manager Andy Salisbury, who helps me run the Mixer community, and he's a cool dude. Yeah, I think some of you know him. He's a good guy. Yep. He is very much into the new monarchy all the way, and he loves and pledges by the new monarchy. And I don't know what he's got.
Josh, that's Andy. What is Josh? Stein.
What is Norman?
I mean, you are doing this crazy amount of tap dancing around this. Of all the questions that have been asked of you tonight, this is the one you choose to tap dance around, sir. We will not let you off this call unless you've determined. Yeah, all right.
I faithfully pledge to Dead Orbit. I bring out the eyeliner. I put it on thick. I get the wops, the emo wop.
What would Daddy Kratos say?
But
okay,
can I be honest though? Can I be honest?
Oh, we want you to be honest.
And probably the most normie thing I'll say. It's because of the black and white. My wardrobe is black and white. A lot of Xbox merch I have, a lot of, gaming merch. I'm a Gimli shaped man here, and black and white's the only thing that's kind to me.
False, man.
I love the black and white gaming swag, and so I like the colors, the tones. I like the visuals of the Dead Orbit. I'm not saying I agree with their policies, but they dress pretty good, in my opinion.
I don't want you to feel too bad because Tefty's over here pulling lots of faces.
Whoa.
But he is currently pledged to Dead Orbit.
I
logged into his stream.
Hold on.
And I saw Dead Orbit tokens.
I have to defend myself here, all right?
I
am actually pledged to Future War Cult.
I don't think you.
I'm pledged to Future War Cult. On the PS4, I already collected 760 plus tokens on the PS4 for Future War Cult. And on PC, I was hired by Lakshmi. She specifically told me because I'm a...
How many have you collected on PC for...
That's what I'm saying, Pope Bear.
It's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
No, it is relevant.
You have to do at least the same amount.
We need to know
for
the
Future
math.
War Cult.
Okay, so...
It sounds like at least double.
So Lakshmi hired me to investigate the Graviton Lance Catalyst, all right? So I'll be collecting exactly 1,000 tokens. And if I have any more...
And you better do at least 1,000 on Future War
I already
Cult.
said I'm already 760 tokens in.
Okay.
Already?
You better do 1,001, okay?
You know what? I might double it. We'll see.
2,000.
I might put in 2,000
easy.
Future War Cult. It does, it's besides the point. Like I said, I'm a spy for Future War Cult, spying on the hot topic, the eyeliner thing going on.
What is everybody? I'm curious. What is everybody?
Future War Cult.
Future War Cult.
I'm a Dead Orbit.
Oh, what?
One of them.
Fire.
We got one.
Look,
You got
I was
one.
Future War Cult. I got the Sunshot Catalyst last time around. Like, what is
And then you go Future War Cult again?
Irregardless of like catalysts and all that. Like, what do you align with prior?
Future War Cult.
Okay, see? Yeah.
Okay.
My hunter,
Because I'm a good person.
exactly. You care about the future of humanity and you don't run from your problems.
That's right.
Exactly.
Well, Josh, we're gonna get into Destiny hot and thick here. You're welcome to stay. You love yourself some good Destiny talk. We're gonna go through this week at Bungie, but it's if you want to hang around, you're welcome to. We really appreciate you coming on. I love to hear your story about how you got into the gaming industry and your approach to community management. It's been a ton of conversations in our chat and in the community about Mixer and the competition they're bringing. And I think you did a great job representing and explaining to us why we're seeing these conversations and the competition is good. So we really appreciate you coming on. I guess it's up to you. You want to hang out or you want to?
Yeah, we're almost at the 90-minute mark, so
yeah.
I think I gotta. I do have a 7-month pregnant wife at home that I do have to.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Congratulations.
I think she would. Thank you. I think she would appreciate it if I got home before 8. So I'm gonna continue listening though. I'm gonna go ahead and pop you guys in my ears though, in case you talk any more Dead Orbit shit. But
guaranteed.
We will. It's gonna happen.
But I hear that's a regular in this podcast.
Pretty much.
That's a regular in this podcast.
Pretty much.
I do want to say thank you though for having me on the show. It's an honor to talk amongst you guys, nerd out a bit. I think there's a lot of great voices in this industry, and there's a lot of opportunities for a lot of great stories to be shared because so many people can attach to different versions of these stories and see themselves in them. And, I think it's important to share those. And I love what you guys do. I'm a big fan of it. Obviously, a big fan of Destiny, Guardians all the way. And thank you to all your viewers and everyone who just tuned in. Listen to me ramble. I can ramble. I'm a story. I'm like one of those guys. I'm going to be 80 years old, and I'm like one of those people that don't go talk to Josh.
Josh,
He'll never get out of there.
We've had Deej on the show multiple times, and there is no man that can birdwalk and ramble better than him. And I think it's a trait of community managers. So, you could always aspire to be Deej. Yeah. Thanks very much. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Josh.
Have a great rest of your podcast, and I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for being on.
Thank you, Josh.
A great guy,
all right.
man. That
Absolutely.
was cool.
Yeah, that was
He is a great
very
guy.
cool guy.
Yeah, and chat and people listening, appreciate that we did a little change in the format. I wanted to have him on, but he wasn't. To have him come on for a 2-hour, 3-hour show and would have been a lot for him. And he's to talk about Destiny. So it's just going to be us four for the remainder. We're going to get into the TWAB now, and really appreciate your patience. And so we're going to do it.
Wobbing it out.
TWAB
It is a TWAB.
It is a TWAB.
It's a
It's a hard
It is a
T.
TWAB.
It's
Let's
a
get
hard
into this
T.
now.
All right, so there's a calendar. We got a calendar for the summer, basically the events that are going to mark our summer. So if you've been wondering why the Faction Rally came out so fast this week, the second round of Faction Rally, it's because there's stuff going on this summer, and they're getting the stuff out of the way.
in the tower.
So July 3rd through 9th, we're going to get the Faction Rally Winners Week.
Where we get
Mayhem.
them. Good. Sidearm.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
A true winning.
If you made the right decision. Mayhem Crucible playlist.
Yeah.
And it's Bungie Day on the 7th.
Does that
It
mean
is
we get
Bungie
something
Day.
for that? In game? Because the fact that it's
Traditionally.
on an in-game roadmap for summer, I kind of feel like maybe they'll do something.
Maybe.
Like an emote?
Something. Otherwise, you can mention it in a TWAB. They're like, "Oh, Bungie Day's coming up," but why put it in my roadmap?
What would a
Don't put it
Bungie
in my
emote be?
I wouldn't mind the 7th
The
count.
teabag emote, and you can call it the Bungie way or something. I don't know.
I wouldn't mind getting the 7th column as a emblem.
That'd be
kind
cool.
of
that'd be cool.
Ooh,
I think it'd be cool. There's a GIF out there of Deej dancing in front of a Destiny sign. I think a emote of him doing his little dance.
I like it.
Funny.
That would be good. It should be called Deej Dance, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And you could combine it with really obscene things, so he could just be dancing. Never mind.
With
Gotta
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
inner look at some Pope fantasies there. July 10th through 16th, we get another round of Iron Banner. So this is it's crazy. It's like we get Faction Rally, Iron Banner, Faction Rally, Iron Banner. It's like every week there's one of these. And then Guardian Con is on the 13th through 14th.
Which is going to be Iron Banner.
I'm really
We'll be
looking forward
there.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then July 17th, so that's the week after Guardian Con, we get update 1.2.3 to the game. The final faction rally of Season 3.
Yep.
The final faction rally of Season 3.
Last chance.
Last chance faction rally. And Supremacy Crucible playlist. So they're going to do a special Supremacy Crucible playlist.
We'll find out why that is later.
All right. The week after that, July 24th through 30th, we get the Faction Rallies Winners Week and then the Doubles Crucible playlist. And then on July 31st, Solstice of Heroes begins.
And we don't know how long that lasts.
No.
Because it doesn't say from X time to X time. It's just Solstice of Heroes.
So they were talking about how they were doing a Triumphs thing, and I'm assuming that's all going to be packaged up with Solstice, which is going to be the final month leading up to Forsaken, right? So like August is going to be like a Triumphs and Solstice and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a smart bet, Defty, especially since they're packing the faction rallies, like, you know, into 3 weeks of faction rallies into 6 successive weeks, right?
Right.
It's like, that's a lot of grinding to do in 6 weeks,
It's kind of like somebody looked at the schedule and was like, uh-oh, we got to do 3 faction rallies.
I was like, guys, do we want them to be doing faction rallies while they're doing their Age of Triumph stuff?
We got to push, back to back faction rallies.
Let's go. Let's get this done. It doesn't say anything about final Iron Banner of Season 3, so
but who cares?
Theoretically,
right?
Iron Banner will continue.
Nobody really cares at this point.
It's not as big a grind. Iron Banner isn't as big a grind as faction rallies. Faction rallies, you got to invest some time for sure.
Yeah,
I feel like I've already gotten everything in Iron Banner and still have some leftover tokens, and I don't play all that often.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be able to buy some stuff, right? Throw some $10 here and there.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe a little
We don't talk about
Siva Iron Lord next time. It'd be great.
Defty.
So you might have noticed that there was an update in there on the 17th, July 17th, right after Guardian Con. We're getting update 1.2.3, and they gave us some early details of what's coming in that update. We'll go through the list real quick. Do you guys want to talk about the list as we go? Why don't we do that?
Yes.
There's some interesting stuff.
All right, Crucible. There it really is. Crucible playlist update. So quick play, increasing the player population or player configuration to 6v6 and updating the playlist description. So quick play is getting changed to 6v6.
I know they're going to say, we thought this wasn't sweaty, but it actually is. Is that the new description?
Yeah.
Because instead of like low intensity games, they're like, well, sometimes it's a little
casual, low intensity pizza and chilling games. Oh, wait, actually, you have to be 100% focused.
Actually, no, we lied.
They're also removing Supremacy from the pool of available game modes.
Get out of here.
Bummer, man. I love that game mode.
Get out of here.
I love it.
You know what I really like about this?
Let's start the Supremacy comeback.
People hate Supremacy, and it being gone is great. But what's even better is that you now have more of a chance to get control.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
There's only 2.
You're right.
They're making some changes to control as well. They're updating control win score to 150, and control zones will initially be neutral, just like they are in Iron Banner.
Yep, it's basically the Iron Banner control.
Yeah. Clash, updating Clash win score to 100. What's the current Clash win score? I don't know.
75? Something?
Is it? So
it
Clash
75?
games are going to go longer?
75.
Somewhere around there.
Because there's more people.
Oh, that's true. 6v6. Okay, that makes sense. Competitive. Bomb fuse timer and countdown lowered from 40 seconds to 35 seconds.
So you got to get in there.
I think that 5 seconds actually is going to make a difference, because how many times you like really come down to the wire like that and then diffused?
Well,
yep.
I feel like when I play Countdown, there's a lot more often times where I'm like, oh, it's still a time. It's still going. Wow. And so I think it's actually good that they're doing this, because you kind of feel like you can, if they set the bomb and then you have an aggressive team, they can go push, be really aggressive, and then dismantle that thing pretty comfortably. So shaving 5 seconds off would be good. It'll put some more precedence on you have to move right now.
Yeah, the bomb makes more of a difference. Yeah, theoretically.
Yeah.
General, Rumble will become a full-time playlist.
Woo! As it should be in any shooter.
Yep.
Correct.
People were saying 50, by the way, for Clash. So apparently 50 to 100. That's a big jump.
That's doubles. Supremacy will be added to the weekly featured playlist, updated to 6v6, and have a win score of 150.
You can still play it. If you like Supremacy, you can play it as much as Mayhem.
Have a week of it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Love it.
That is going to be the loneliest weekly playlist.
That's going to be a charming playlist. Quaint.
And you know
charming.
what? YouTube commenter right now who's writing in the YouTube comments, but Supremacy is my favorite game mode. I don't care. I'm not even going to read that comment. Nobody likes supremacy, man.
I like supremacy.
Of course you do, Pope.
Of course
Just
you do.
for the record, I think that it is, while it's not perfect, it does provide an additional objective-based game mode.
It's not
that
objective.
we
A
are
fake
sort of
objective?
similarly objective-based, sort of.
It's
objective.
Clash.
Okay,
It's
so
Clash.
it provides
Clash with
me
candy.
something shiny to go after. I don't hate supremacy. I think they could have tweaked it more to kind of take away some of the things that people dislike about it. But
There is a world that works because that game mode used to be in Call of Duty. I don't know. I haven't played a Call of
Yeah.
Duty in a couple of years
yeah.
now, and it was actually one of my favorites in Call of
Kill
Duty. I can't
Confirm was
remember-
my favorite
Kill
mode,
Confirm,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really. I've never really thought about like why it works in Call of Duty but doesn't work in Destiny.
I can
but it doesn't
actually
work in
actually
Destiny.
sum it for you really easily.
All right, tell me.
It's the meta, like butt hugging and having to lane so hard right now and not being able to
Yeah.
1v3
doesn't go well with it.
basically cancels out the need to go and collect those tags. So somebody
Yep.
steps out, you got 3, you get 1 kill, they kill you, they pick up that tag and then go and pick up your tag. It just plays like Clash essentially, and it's just a more annoying version of it. So if the time to kill gets quicker and you can actually have the power to be able to 1v3 people, then a kill confirm style game mode would actually excel. Would be fun. Supremacy could actually be fun.
They're making some changes to the Crucible ranks. Players will be able to earn Valor ranks from additional playlists. So competitive Crucible Labs, Iron Banner, and Trials of the Nine will all earn you Valor, which is nice.
That's
good.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you guys explain that to me? I was a little confused at why. Just explain that piece to me, because it seemed like wasn't Valor specifically only for the social playlist?
Yes.
Yes.
But now
So-
it'll basically, anytime you play in the Crucible, you can earn Valor.
Yeah.
I think it's more so what Val is going to be is just a show of how much do you just generally play Crucible.
Yeah.
Any kind of Crucible that you are playing, how often do you play that? How much have you played? So I think it's just filling that instead of being like, oh, you have to play in this place.
So it's just becoming like a catch-all.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be just like Watt said, just how much do you
Just
play the
Crucible.
Crucible?
Yeah.
Like a consolation prize.
No, it's a measurement of of rank or
How much
not
you
rank,
play?
but like
Time invested?
yeah, time invested, faction type of stuff. Like
Okay.
that's kind of what it ends up being, which I think is better. Remember how anytime you did Crucible stuff in D1, you ranked up your Crucible rank?
Yeah.
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 This is essentially it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the competitive piece you're getting,
We're going to talk about more competitive stuff.
but it just
The
in
glory rank.
that piece of it, it sounds like you're sort of getting to double dip then.
Yeah, because you'll be able to earn glory and Valor at the same time if you go into the competitive playlist.
Yeah, not earning Valor
Okay.
playing Iron Banner was kind of annoying.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
little
for
bit.
sure. But you're playing competitive, you're getting glory and valor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's just a measurement of your time in Crucible.
Yeah.
Right.
And let's face it, they
Yes.
could use another incentive to get people to play competitive because right now it's empty.
It's a little dry.
I completely agree with you guys. I'm not against it. I just wanted to. So it's a change in like the way that they're treating the playlist and
Well, there's
and the
more
rank up
changes
system.
too.
Yeah, I know, but okay.
They're joining a game in progress will protect your Valor win streak for that game. If you lose, no penalty incurred to your Valor win streak. If you win, Valor win streak increases.
That's better.
That's a no-brainer.
That is a no-brainer.
That's
Definitely.
great. Yeah. I mean, when you join a game in progress and you're clearly going to lose, you shouldn't be penalized for that. Players will be matched using their glory rank.
Much
This
better.
means your
That's a
opponents
big
will
deal,
be
man.
of similar rank to you. The higher you climb, the tougher the opponent will be.
That's how a rank system should be.
So let me clarify this again. So this means I don't ever play competitive.
Mhm.
I don't have any glory. Glory is for the young. I'm an old man. I have valor. So I have a ton of valor, no glory.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm trying to go with it. Go with me.
Just go with it. Just go with it.
So how am I getting matched then?
With other people of
so-
low glory.
Yeah. So when
You'd
you
have
jump
to-
in, Go ahead, what?
Continue. You'd have to play the matches to essentially get placed. Like in any ranking system, it will take a little while to place you into it, and you just go up against people with the same. This seems
so intuitive, like it should have been like that.
Basically, like it's kind of weird that they didn't initially put it in there in the first place. Because I played some.
It's weird.
Some matches on PC, and people had almost 5,000, and it was like, okay, like. So this is ELO?
Like you go in there, you have never played comp before in your life. Maybe you played a lot of quick play and you're good at quick play, but that doesn't mean you're going to be good at comp at all. It's two different type of skill sets. So you go in there and you're matched against like the top team, and you're like, can I find my feet first?
It makes
please?
no sense, right?
Yeah, this seems like such a quality of life thing right here. I didn't realize how big of a deal it was until you guys started explaining it to me. That because I don't delve in those worlds, it might actually make me want to play competitive now.
So I'm going to be perfectly honest. I actually thought that that's how this was going to be when they launched it in Warmind, and when I found out it wasn't, I was like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever for the glory grind.
What's the point if it doesn't work like that?
Yeah, what's the point if it's literally just stats? You know?
Yes.
It doesn't make sense. But on the flip side, and playing a bunch of Iron Banner last week just further solidifies the fact that there is just two worlds in this game right now where they want things to be competitive, but the actual foundation for it to be competitive is like a 100-year-old dry rot building that's about to collapse. Like, no dedicated servers means that those people going up with the 5,000 rank are going to have extremely stressed connections where, yeah, they're highly skilled players, but someone at some point is always going to have some sort of lag, either advantage or disadvantage. And you know, you grow a community in that area, or you grow a playlist by people's experiences of being fun or rewarding.
Yep.
And when you feel like you're always like going up against RNG bullets, ghost bullets, getting shot around corners and so on, and that experience, then it drains the playlist. It drains the population. People don't enjoy those experiences.
So did so my experience was Call of Duty like this, the regular Call of Duty playlists. Was it dedicated servers?
It depends on what Call of Duty game you're talking about.
You know, Black Ops, any of the Black Ops.
Again, it depends on which Black Ops you're talking about. Black Ops 1 was all peer-to-peer. I think Black Ops 2 had a mixture.
It did have a mixture, yeah.
Black Ops 3 had a mixture as well.
Okay.
I know that on PC, the original Modern Warfare, I think, had dedicated servers. I want to say Modern Warfare 2 didn't. That's when they switched it to peer-to-peer. But it's been a mixture. Like, you can't.
I guess that's where my experience in PvP, like recent PvP, is, and I just felt like, you know, what I don't know anything other than really what connection we have with Destiny, and the frustration I have with I'm not sure what to call latency or issues or connection issues. You know, getting shot around corners. Is that what you're talking about?
So what Destiny does, for anybody who doesn't know, there's a netcode video that was put out there, and it's very fascinating because your connection to individual players is different every single time. So some person coming around the corner could receive your bolts perfectly, and you have no issues whatsoever. You know, and then the next person on that same team is extremely laggy, and that's because the actual tick rate is variable. That means that the information that's sent back and forth while you're playing the game is a variable tick rate. Sometimes it can be as low as like 10 or 5 or something like that, and that makes a poor experience when you're playing an online game. Mm-hmm. Most online shooters nowadays adopt high tick rate servers. So Overwatch is 60. It's a 60 tick rate server, and it's on a dedicated server, so things feel consistent from match to match. Where Destiny, every single match feels like a mixed bag. You have a good match. Sometimes you feel like people are shooting you and they just can't hit you. I mean, maybe they're experiencing a poor tick rate against you and you have the benefit of it. And then vice versa, you get into the next match and you feel like you're hitting headshots and the game's like, I'm sorry, you forgot to load ammo into your gun. It's whiffing.
My guess is, Tefty, you're referring to the netcode analysis by Battle Nonsense on YouTube?
Yeah.
That's well worth a watch. He's got 2 of them about Destiny 2. Yep. He made one in August and one in November. I just Googled it real quick.
Yeah.
And they're fascinated because it really is, it's this hybrid system that really does behave differently than most other games do. and it's well worth again, that's Battle Nonsense. It's a YouTube video that's really worth checking out.
Definitely worth checking out. And what it highlights is that on PC, the actual tick rate to individual players can go up to 40, but it's very rarely achieved. It's usually 30 and below. And on console, it's usually 30 and below as well, depending on the player connection. So that means you're never actually getting a 60 tick rate with any person in there. And the technology is fantastic for PvE. That means that somebody from Australia can be playing with somebody in America and somebody in Europe, and you can still control your characters. Sure, some of the enemies might not respond to damage right away, but it's PvE. Like, it's okay. You can deal with that stuff.
Right.
But when it comes to PvP, it leads to very frustrating experiences that as soon as that happens a couple times in a row, how many times does it have to happen before you eventually quit? And then the player population once again starts dwindling. So you could put all these fancy...
I wonder if it's possible to split PvE from PvP. You know, when you go to play PvP, it's on dedicated servers.
For the netcode?
If it's even possible for Bungie to do that.
I mean, that's a question for their engineers. Obviously, it's possible with enough time and money. But are they willing to...
Right.
Are they willing to take their hybrid system, which, again, is very technical, extremely deep, and works fantastic for PvE? And if you actually had everybody in your house on your LAN connection playing Destiny PvP, it would actually be a LAN connection because that's the way it's set up. But when you have people playing across America and then some people on separate continents, it just falls apart and becomes a tough experience.
It's really interesting.
It's the like player movement and like damage are like two different tick rates too. It's a complicated system. It's very strange.
And so talking more just about the comp changes, this is going to be really good for people who just want to try and get that damn gun solo.
Yeah.
It's going to be much more friendly for them. They're going to be mashed up with people the same rank as them. They're going to have that win-loss streak thing is not going to be, because that makes me not want to go play it.
Yeah.
I think, I'm going to hop in solo, do some games, see how it goes. I don't want to do that. So I might get on a massive loss streak. I don't want to deal with that. So I think it might populate the playlist a little bit more, hopefully.
That's another change they're making to Glory is that the loss streaks will be retuned to be less punishing over time. Consecutive losses will decrease the rank points to loss instead of increasing, and streaks will still cap out at 5. So loss streaks won't be as punishing. I mean, that's something like I want to get into the Crucible to the competitive playlist because I want to get that Red Rix Claymore. That gun is super cool, and I definitely want to get that before Season 3 is over.
Yeah.
And like I've been delaying doing it just because there's been so much other stuff to do in the Warmind that I've just been kind of distracted. When I have gone into competitive, though, like it's tense in there. It's like you've got to fight tooth and nail for every point, basically. It's
which, when you first start out, you're supposed to be you have a little bit of leeway when you first start out in ranked, usually in any game. And then as you get placed, you start going up against people of equal skill level. But at the moment, because there's not many people in there, and if you're towards the more, even if you're slightly above average in quick play with your MMR, you're going to be going up against the top teams as soon as you jump in.
Right.
And that's, I'm in there with my 0 points going up against the top team that's currently playing. It's like, how am I, how?
Briar, there's something that's really interesting for a solo player that's kept me away from the competitive playlist. The few times that I've jumped in, I've often, in my first match, not my second, but in my first, I'm often placed in a game already in progress. And often it's a situation where I'm being blown out.
In competitive?
In competitive.
I thought they wouldn't even do that. I thought you couldn't
You can't join in progress in comp.
I don't think you can.
Well,
I think you can
in quick play for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is a lot. Maybe I'm not playing the comp playlist. I'm playing I have actually zero. So I find myself as a solo player being put on teams where I'm by myself, and this seems something really interesting with Valor. Okay, you're right with Valor. If you lose, no penalties are incurred on your Valor win streak. So joining a game in progress will protect your Valor win streak for that game. I think that's actually really huge. I think there's a lot of times where I join in and I'm like, fuck, this game's already over, And there went my streak. It's like penalizing you for trying to go in there solo. And so I like that you can back out, or I mean, you can join in, and if the game's being in the losing, and it keeps that moment where you're like, oh well, I'm just going to back out, or you jump in and you're like, well, this is a freebie. It's not going to count against me, but it can count for me. So let me try to help my team.
Yeah, let's go in deep.
Let's go in deep. It doesn't hurt,
Right?
Yeah.
So I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's a nice change. That definitely is a good one. I mean, you definitely shouldn't lose points because you got put in an unwinnable situation.
Oh yeah. No, definitely.
Prestige raids are finally coming.
Woo! I'm excited for them.
Yeah.
I want the loot.
So Destiny update 1.2.3 is going to be launching the Prestige versions of both the Spire of Stars and the Eater of Worlds raid layers.
At the same time, right when the patch drops.
Yeah. So, are we going to be world's first to do anything here?
World's first patch download.
I think everybody's going to go straight after Spire of Stars, but we can do Eater of Worlds. Nobody will see it coming.
Yeah.
That's old content, everybody was saying. But we're first.
I'm actually really excited what they're doing with this. They said that they were going to
a new approach.
They were shelving some of the idea of loadouts and modifiers for a bit, kind of retooling it, and I'm really happy that they come back to this. I know it's funny. There's some people who are like, I don't like this at all. Stop telling me what to use. And then there's some people like me where I'm like, this sounds fun. Like
it does sound fun because it changes every encounter.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like instead of going in there and just, okay, this is the encounter where you pull out this weapon, and this weapon. Well, now you got to think about it a little bit.
Yeah. So it's what they're doing is they're making it, there's going to be loadouts where you have to equip archetypes, broad archetypes. So it could be like you need an auto rifle, hand cannon in your energy, and a sniper rifle in your heavy, and that'll be that week's modifier along with Prism, and they 2 unrevealed modifiers so far for the Prestige. So that's going to be really fascinating because before Lunafactions, I would have thought, what if you say shotgun? Like, is this even going to be possible? Now that Lunafactions exist, I feel like every loadout is possible.
Yeah. I mean, Redeem's kind of been showing that, right? Like all Clan Redeem is doing right now is just going in and doing really dumb stuff to try and kill
I love watching
raid bosses.
what they're doing, man.
Yeah.
Like they had a Night Stalker only kill, so only using your your Night Stalker super killing. So that's kind of what this is bringing, right?
One? What?
Yes.
The watching like all Defender Titans like shoulder bash
Go up, yeah.
the boss.
It's basically going to be bringing that, but to Prestige raids, right? It's like use this specific loadout, kill in this specific way. And I know it's not really what we expect to see from Prestige raids. We expect them to be hard, and we get this new mechanics maybe, but instead they're kind of taking it in a different direction of it's going to be harder, but you have to use these specific loadouts.
There's also going to be new rewards. Well, new rewards is maybe pushing it. There's going to be higher power level rewards.
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
Right? We're getting a bump in power level.
Yeah.
So what's the current cap? 380, right? 385 with the mods.
Yep.
If you complete a Prestige raid layer, you are guaranteed 1 400 power level weapon drop.
Yeah.
And it could be of any weapons of the raid. So including Leviathan and the other 2 Prestige. I mean, layers.
Yep.
Yeah. So that means it's just going to be that much harder to get the coup.
Basically.
To drop from that.
Basically. That's 100% what I'm thinking about.
But interesting because it's going to be the only way to get 400 power level weapons.
Before Forsaken.
Before Forsaken.
Before the Forsaken, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if that's, to me, as enticing as having unique weapons, but it's definitely enticing, right? Because you can really bump up your power just by up above.
I mean,
380.
When Forsaken drops, it's probably not going to matter whatsoever. You're probably going to blow past 450 like within a couple hours. But
isn't the Forsaken power level like 600?
Yeah, something like that, right?
It's over 9,000.
Over 9,000, exactly. We're going to climb. We'll be climbing hard.
It's going to be forever.
This definitely makes me want to jump in and do those Prestige layers because I'm going to want that 400 gear.
Yes.
Right? I kind of want to see how powerful I can get in the current PvE landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's going to be fun.
Can I solo the... No, can I... Nightfall? You know, can I solo the what's the thing on Mars called? I forget all the time. Escalation Protocol?
Yeah,
No,
EP's
probably
gonna.
not. But
They need to flip that switch back on for EP to be harder.
right? Oh yeah.
Well,
they do.
we're also another thing that gets me pretty excited is they have said that each layer is getting their own ornaments, right?
yeah,
Like
new
unique
armor
ornaments.
Unique.
So I'm interested to see what that's
Yeah.
gonna look like.
Weren't they? Couldn't we see them already for the?
I'm hoping that it's not those. That those were placeholders.
Okay. Because I could have sworn we could see them.
Yeah, you can preview them right now, but I wonder if they were like we're actually redoing some of those because that would be nice.
I hope so.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, probably.
Both raid layers will also have Masterwork Catalysts that can be found only as a rare drop inside the activity.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting.
It's exciting depending on which Masterwork it is.
There was a leak too that showed what
That's
it was.
true. The Acreus?
Oh, really?
Is it Acreus?
That's
It's
exciting.
Acreus.
It's hinting at accurate.
No, Acreus is Prestige Leviathan.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, but the other two, what are those?
Oh, that's right.
There was a leak on Reddit talking about it, talking about all the catalysts. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna want that. Absolutely.
I'm gonna want all of them.
Increased magazine size on the Acreus.
Yeah. In PvE only.
No.
No, they balance this game for both, so it's gonna be both.
So, like we mentioned before, they are
Telesto
bringing
and Sleeper. That's what it was.
Telesto and Sleeper.
Those are going to be
Those are both
for
good weapons.
for the layers.
I definitely want
Yeah.
both of those.
Mm-hmm.
So the exotic, it's under the title of Exotic Masterwork Catalyst. So, I mean, it's both raid layers have a Masterwork Catalyst that can be found. I guess, so are we sure that it's those two?
Yeah, it was data
Not
mined.
sure.
No.
Oh,
Pretty sure it was data mined.
what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's still exciting. I know that I'm interested to see what they're going to do to Telesto. I think that's something that's a fun gun for me to use.
Do you want me to spoil it?
No.
Okay, I won't say.
Well, actually, here, I'm going to take this off and then you can say.
Pretty sure it was extra magazine size and ammo reserves. Pretty sure.
All right, cool.
So they talked a little bit about what you're going to do in the raid layers. So the actual raid layers aren't going to change. Like the encounters aren't going
Right.
to change. There's not
No.
special challenges. What it's going to be is you have curated weapon loadouts like they talked about before, and there's going to be 3 activity modifiers that the raid layers rotate between.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, like the modifiers do make some difference in Nightfalls. We'll see how much of a difference they make in the raid layers. What does Prism do? I can't even remember.
Prism rotates between the burns.
It switches your burn.
Oh,
every
okay.
like 30 seconds or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Oh, that could be interesting. So hard light could be a thing.
Yeah. And,
And
the
Borealis
can be a thing.
I want the damn Borealis,
Borealis.
on PC, man.
Yeah. That's Sniper Week.
So good.
Ooh, that's going to be pretty. Watts, you threw out a question to Dylan earlier today on Twitter about the Prestige raid layer races, right?
Yeah, so believe it was Carolina Gamer who tweeted saying that he didn't like it. So I wanted to kind of just, I quote tweeted that and just said, well, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the raid layers launching as soon as the patch comes out? So of course you have to download the patch, so people with slower internet don't have access to the patch sometimes. And then also both of them are launching at the exact same time, so there's no world's first race, right?
Right.
Basically, there's no world's first race. So
Yeah, it takes away the fun of that.
I know that people haven't necessarily cared as much about Prestige mode, world's first. But I definitely wanted to ask people on Twitter, how do they feel about that? Do they want a world's first? Do they not want a world's first? Because obviously this is a very different way of doing Prestige as well. They're going this curated loadouts way instead of new mechanics and new things to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
and to clarify, so it's going to be the exact same encounter, but with modifiers.
It's the exact same.
And loadouts, yeah.
Yes.
So there will be
Yeah.
nothing to discover. It's just
Right.
It's
But it is interesting to see these top tier from a viewer standpoint for someone that's going to watch it and definitely not go for the race. But I'm interested to see what these top PvE teams, how they prepare themselves for like a challenge like that, and to know what the modifiers are, like to say, okay, so these are the weapons that are going to be curated, to see how they pull together their weapon combinations and what they're using, because there's a lot of variation there that they could try. And then, you know, these teams have been practicing with, you know, it's like what Team Redeem is doing is they're trying to get their expertise down on all these different ways of taking out the bosses. I think it's interesting nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see, you know, this loadout comes out and everyone's then thinking, oh, well, this is the best sniper rifle, but man, I need to use this exotic hand cannon because this is going to be really good with this modifier. So I think it's going to be really interesting to kind of force people to switch up their loadouts and maybe rediscover some guns that are maybe really good for those encounters that we didn't know before.
Sure.
So I'm interested to see what people do and come up with.
Yeah, I feel like what this does is makes more replayability for the community instead of doing a race for World's First Prestige. I mean, I really like the races, obviously. Like it's fun to watch that stuff and see it unfold. But if they're not doing any new mechanics, then it doesn't make sense to do a World's First. If they were doing a new mechanic type of thing, I'd say, yeah, of course.
Sure.
Like Prestige changed things for Leviathan.
It did, yeah.
I'm honestly a little disappointed that I understand that these raid layers are mechanic heavy, but I don't know. I'm a little disappointed that we're not getting a change. I hear their answer that
I hear you. I kind of agree with you, Pope. But on the other side of that argument, we are getting week to week a slightly different raid experience, right? So we do the raid week 1, and then we go back to do the raid 2, and it's going to be a little different. Our loadouts have to be different, and the modifiers are going to be different. So you get to kind of discover your best way to get a raid done kind of each week, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of have both.
I like it. So, but I'm going to take a page from your book. Both. This and? Aren't you the one that usually is telling me this and? Yeah. So, you know, it's kind of weird being on this side of the fence to you, Briar, but I believe that they could have done both.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
You know,
I don't think it's out of the question that they still can't. I mean, all they got to do is just separate. They're going to announce that the Prestige Raid Lair for Spire of the Stars is launching on, you know, Saturday, and the other one is launching on Thursday. It doesn't have to launch when the patch releases.
Yeah, they could definitely just have what it is.
They can definitely do it.
Everybody knows the mechanics, and they go at it first try.
I don't think those races are going to be much to watch. I think they're going to be 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Half an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
But it is something the community does get excited about. It kind of rallies people around again to be like, oh, let's see what the modifier is. I want to see what the loadout is. Okay, I want to watch the best teams kind of go at it and see what they're using. And I think the community always gets behind stuff like that. You know, you tune into one team and they're using complete different loadouts to this other team. So I think it could be a really fun World's First to watch just because of the variables that could happen in people's loadouts and all that.
So I would love to see this progress forward into the Forsaken and have like prestige modes be like this where they introduce interesting new modifiers. I always wanted that in D1 where we had modifiers for raids. I thought that would be really cool. But maybe what they have to do is come back to heroic mode, so they could have your normal mode and your heroic mode that changes the stuff, but then have the option for prestige to add different modifiers each week to change things up.
Yeah,
I mean that sounds like too many raids, but like it's something along those lines because the chase is fun and we only get raids every so often.
The problem I'm having is that I just don't think that the forcing like the loadouts idea, because when we first heard about this and we started talking about it a while back, I don't think it's attractive enough of a system. I don't think it's going to generate enough interest. I don't think it's I think it's great that they're trying to mix up the raids from week to week, but I feel like they could have been a little bit more creative with how they did that.
I feel like that's probably why they added the 400 light level thing.
Maybe, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like,
I mean,
well, it's no new mechanics, but there's curated loadouts as modifiers, and you can get 400 light.
I saw even if they could have done something like the Nightfall modifiers, where you have a card where you can select them and some scoring, some raid scoring. I think that seeing a Nightfall scoring option and a card go into it and you can put on burns and stuff like that, that would have been a lot more attractive to me than what we're getting.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to see it rotate each week with different things. Like I like that aspect of it, kind of like Heroic Strikes having some sort of rotation in there. But
I like the weapon changes too. Like your loadout has to change week to week.
So
well, maybe this also makes it a little easier to grind it for catalysts for people. And
maybe,
then putting those in there.
Mm-hmm.
I got to try this, right? And it's not going to be something I'm going to have a verdict on like after week 1 or maybe not after week 2. But after a summer of this, like, did I do the raid more often because it was different week to week? Or did I, get the gear I wanted out of the raid and forgot about the raid till the next one came out again?
Yeah.
Which has, been my MO.
So I think probably the biggest concern is going to be people who rely heavily on LFG. Like, there's probably going to be a week where it's just unbelievably hard to do Spire or Eater of Worlds with a particular loadout, and that's going to hurt LFG with that.
Yeah.
I like the challenge. I like the idea behind it, but I don't know.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys play more right now? Be honest. Do you play more Heroic Strikes or Nightfalls?
It's a mix for me. When I get sick of Nightfalls,
is it a mix?
When I get sick of Nightfalls, I go to Heroics. Actually, I look at the thing that tells you when like heavyweight's going to be on, and I definitely play Heroics when it's heavyweight. So
exactly, that's exactly my point. Giving players more options is always better than forcing them into something. So I just think that there's going to be blowback when they start locking people out of the content because they don't have certain guns.
Yeah.
Right?
That's kind of what I'm thinking too.
Or they don't have access to it, or they're not the high enough light. It's just not a smart move. I understand Prestige is meant for people at the top of the end game, and Destiny isn't. Stop trying to make Destiny for everybody. And yeah, I get it. My point is simply that giving people more options to run a raid, like if you chose to modifiers in some way that you could increase your, I guess, just straight up scoring, raid scoring, where we can get different modifiers to compete against each other for high scores. This just doesn't seem enough. This is like vanilla ice cream, It just doesn't seem enough spice in there. There's not enough.
The problem with scoring, though, is that the only reason I interact with scoring is to meet the threshold because I thought that I would get a better chance at getting the raid or the strike specific loot. Once I figured that didn't even factor in, then I stopped caring about scoring altogether. So, like, scoring to me doesn't add much at all.
But then I think there's a lot of people that play PvE that want to have that competitive piece of it.
There's definitely people who like the scoring and want to excel at it. Like, you see a lot of the names on that TWAB repeat each week for the high scores.
Yeah.
I wish there was scoring in Heroics with that type of way, because I think scoring, when you see those numbers pop up, feels more arcade-like.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe I'm off base, but we'll have to see. Obviously, we're going to play it. We're going to judge it, but I just,
You will be judged.
You will.
I'm just happy that they're adding modifiers for the first time to raids. Like, that's
right.
the first time.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I don't want to keep continuing to be like served vanilla ice cream and be like, vanilla ice cream's great. I want sprinkles. I want like a cherry.
Listen,
on
maybe
top
those
and whipped
ornaments
cream.
are really sprinkly, okay?
Why am
maybe
I on the side of this fence? Oh my God, this is like freaking me out.
Because you're not lying to yourself today for the first time in so long.
No, because I have to argue a point that like is so obviously there and missing here. We need more than just what they're giving us. And I'm sorry to say that, but I like.
But they're working on Forsaken.
I want to see more options for us.
They're working on Forsaken right now.
Okay. I get it. God, this is like
I want more
upside down
options
day.
too, man. I want more options.
All right, thank you.
I would like it to see a return to the way they did it with Taken King, with the heroic mode, like really offering some different challenges. I even thought that the Taken King ones were a little weak, to be honest with you. And then you got you got different colored weapons, so there's a little bit of prestige just walking around with those weapons, different color armor.
Yeah,
a little bit of prestige with that.
Yeah,
I don't know. So they're making some changes to the way gear is collected in the Forsaken, but they explain how it's going to relieve some stress now.
This is huge, man.
This is so fucking
big.
good.
This is the best.
So they go to talk about a little bit about the way collections are going to work and what they're going to track. So collections are going to track everything, including weapons, armor, ghosts, ships, sparrows, emblems, and shaders that have been available in year 1 of Destiny 2. So all of that stuff is tracked.
That's cool.
And if you have an item in your inventory as of when the Warmind dropped,
yep,
that will be in your collection, so it's safe to delete it.
Wait a second, Briar. Can I delete my stuff right now and it will be there?
Yes.
Right
you
now.
You can delete absolutely everything. You can delete everything in your inventory. Go for it.
And it'll be in your collections
of course,
when this Forsaken drops.
This is having full 100% confidence in Bungie that this is going to work.
Why you gotta fuck this up for me?
Wait
I
a
got
second.
a full inventory.
I'm just saying, you might want to start with the low tier stuff first and not fully vacate the vault. All right.
Okay. All right.
So the question is, if I dismantled something previously, will it be waiting in my collection this September? The answer is your collection will begin with every piece of gear that you're holding in your inventory or was within your vault on the launch of Warmind. So anything that you deleted before Warmind, that's gone forever.
Yes.
Anything that you have had in your inventory or your vault since the launch of Warmind or have put in your inventory or vault since the launch of Warmind will be available in your collections.
Yeah.
That's huge.
This is a great
That's
system.
real big.
I have not had any desire whatsoever to collect the planetary sets of gear up until now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's there.
Yeah.
Now you want the full set of everything.
Yeah,
right?
if I get the set, then I could actually go and print it out later on because it's going to knock it out of the collection. So I can be like, I have that.
That's absolutely
It's not going to be in the back of my mind thinking, I never got the helmet from Nessus.
Yeah.
No, it's also real exciting.
They should refresh that gear for year 2.
The shaders.
Oh, the shaders.
You get a shader. It adds it to your collection. And you can print it out with Glimmer.
With Glimmer?
So if
like a
if
3D
you have
printer.
like 4 of a prestige mode shader and you're like, man, I really want to put this on everything. I want to put it on my ship, my sparrow, all my armor, all my guns. You can go ahead and basically buy
You just have to
more
get
of those
once.
shaders.
So
You know what?
You just have
That
to get
puts
it
some
once.
stress on Bungie because now when you're doing escalation protocol or you're doing a raid, your booby prize is the shader.
Oh, yeah, right.
And if you can
That's
get one
true.
of those and just print
That's
it
it.
out forever, like that loses
Make
some
the
value.
loot better.
Just to clarify, though, if it's a shader that comes from Eververse, it requires Bright Dust. And if it's a shader that comes
Yes.
from in-game activities, it requires Glimmer.
Fuck off. Really?
Yep.
Well, it's basically
Well-
whatever you dismantle, whatever you can, when you dismantle a shader, do you get Glimmer? Do you get Bright Dust? If you got Bright Dust, you purchase it with Bright Dust. If you got Glimmer, you purchase it with Glimmer.
Exactly. But you'll be able to print it out no matter what. So you can you'll be able to delete all of your shaders.
Yeah, you just gotta pay $19.99.
Wait.
You'll be able to delete all your shaders and mass delete.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
If I bought a shader with silver, do I have to pay silver to equip it?
No, because it breaks down into Bright Dust.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
Not that I've
to
bought
equip
anything
it, by
with
the way,
silver.
they're removing the cost completely to apply the paint,
Yeah.
which is nice. Yeah.
yes.
But if you paid hardcore silver for any of this stuff, if it will dismantle into Bright Dust, and that's the currency for reacquiring it out of the book. So I know some people have like an insane amount of Bright Dust. Like I think CC said he had like 100,000.
I delete like I don't have that much.
I know. I was
that's
like
a lot.
100.
I have a lot because I delete pretty much every ghost and ship and sparrow I get because I'm like,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I've been climbing
I
up
have a
too,
lot
but I'm
too.
still averaging like 3,000-4,000 dust.
I'm about that 3,000 or 4,000.
Yeah.
You know what feels awesome is when you have a ton of bright dust, and then they release something on the Eververse store that's only purchasable with silver.
I love that so much.
It's a beautiful feeling.
I wish we could have more of that in the game.
Those warm feelings, right?
Yeah.
It gets me tight right here in the fields.
Yeah.
You know, I would really love it, actually, if they made a Dead Orbit exclusive ornament for the Graviton Lance that was like $69. That would make me feel so happy, honestly.
$69
for Dead Orbit. You have to actually go to Jalal and buy it from him.
Oh, I'm gonna one up you.
Okay.
What if you could, for $69.99, you could go back to the character creator and put eye makeup on your Guardian.
Oh my gosh.
For $69?
A Dead Orbit exclusive.
Wow.
Dead Orbit exclusive. Let's have one single tear out of the left eye too.
Wow.
In mascara.
Wow.
It's not a tattoo though. It's a mascara.
Huh.
That's good. I like it. Briar, now you're
Now
thinking.
we're talking.
You need to get a job for their player investment team at Bungie.
What else is in this week at Bungie that we need to talk about? Is that it?
I thought it was.
There's a little bit about power level. There's some people, that you don't want to be able to dismantle something when you buy it back, what power level it is. It? When you buy it back, it's going to be slightly below your current power level so that you can't use it as an exploit to power level
There's no
your
game
characters.
in the system.
Right. So you buy it, but it's still going to be relative to where you are in your power level. So it's still usable at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to infuse something but to get it ready for in-game activities, you will need to infuse it with something.
This is big too. Solstice event is going to provide power level 400 armor.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you can potentially get up to
Yay.
power level 400 this summer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Weapons, 400 level weapons are dropping from the prestige raids.
Prestige layers,
and
specifically.
prestige layers. And the 400 level armor is dropping from the Solstice event. You could potentially be at that point, right?
Yep. So part of that data mining with the catalysts was there was some stuff about like a potential arms week. And they had a whole bunch of catalysts in there as well, like 6 more in addition to what's already been stated about the prestige layer stuff. And it referenced an arms week event playlist. So I don't know if Solstice is going to bring stuff of that in. This is all from Reddit, so you can go and search it. I don't know if Solstice is going to bring an arms week type of thing in there, or arms day is going to make some sort of resurgence. If it does, that sounds great. It'd be cool. I'm excited to collect more catalysts. I've personally enjoyed the catalyst grind, except for how low the drop rate is in the heroic playlist. It's like non-existent.
Yeah.
So
you guys want to do Twitter questions?
Yeah. But at this point, I would like to thank our sponsors.
Nice.
Thanks. Who's that?
Vroom vroom.
God, I live on a very busy street corner, and some people with really tiny penises, really, really super tiny ones,
Tiny?
they like to drive really big cars with really big like mufflers, and they like to throttle when they're leaving intersections.
Do they have truck nuts?
The little, they hang off the back. Those are them. You've seen them before?
I have. You're talking about my people.
You're
Small penis folk of the world are my people.
Oh, they are. So it's really interesting because I live near an intersection where these people tend to congregate and drive their vehicles. So I apologize that I have to keep muting my mic when they choose to display their short, small bodies.
Thank you very much, sponsors. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you to the short penis people of the world for sponsoring tonight's show.
This is the best transition we've ever had. Speaking of short penis people, let's talk about On-Air PC.
I hear you can get a huge PC to
compensate for your small penis.
Yes. I hear that you huge PCs, that's right, Watts, they are the same. If you like huge trucks, you like huge PCs. Let's talk about On-Air PC.
That's weird because I don't have a huge truck and I got a pretty big PC.
I got two.
I thought you were going to say something different when you said the P, TWABby.
I mean, I've got a huge PC here. So
I got a set. Let me tell you.
I mean, I have 2 huge PCs.
On Air PC is all about helping you get started in streaming, podcasting, or gaming.
Or other things.
Or getting huge PCs.
Yeah. Listen to what On Air PC is going to do this week, actually.
All right.
They're sending me an Intel delitting kit. You guys know what delitting is?
It terrifies me.
Really? Okay, so what you're doing, right, is you take the chip and you take the silver copper part off, right? The IHS, they call it, the heat sink. You take it off and you remove the thermal paste that Intel provides, and then you put this stuff called liquid metal in its place, and then you put the lid of the chip back on. You put the IHS back on. And apparently you get like 20 degrees cooler temps on your processor. I run an 8700K, which is hot. And it's pretty exciting. So I like talking to these guys. I actually have a conversation with Ryan probably an hour or so once every 2 to 3 days, just talking, like geeking out about stuff. These guys know their shit, right? They know their stuff. If you're a streamer, if you're a podcaster, if you're just looking to dip your toe into podcasting and you want to know where to get started, this is a good phone call to make, right? This guy is cool. He's fun to talk about. He's a super nerd. He knows what he's talking about, right? 330-850-1525. You want to get started streaming, podcasting, or you just want to build a gaming PC, should be your first call on Air PC. Follow him on Twitter at OnAirPC1 or give him a call 330-850-1525. Tefty, you came up with a jingle, right?
Did I?
You said you were gonna.
Recently?
This is going so well.
I am racking my brain on this.
Something about testicles.
It's okay. Let me tell you a testimonial, because right now the guys there...
A testimonial?
Testimonial. These guys are helping me. I'm not a huge... I'm not really PC
You know
tech
nothing
savvy,
about PCs.
and they're sending me a bunch of parts where, and they're going to walk me through exchanging those parts in my PC so I can get a better performance and make a streaming PC. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to document it. And I'm sweating bullets that I have to do this work on this PC, and it scares me to do it. So if you're like me, these guys are walking me through it. They're going to tell me how to do it and get all the parts that I need and make sure they're all compatible. I really apprient them.
When's that happening, Pope?
Yeah,
you know,
they should be arriving pretty soon here.
Pretty soon, like a month.
Yeah, well, within the month.
Within the month. So make sure you call On Air PC within the month before they have to make that phone call to Pope, because that very well could be the end of them.
they may never get off the phone.
I'm telling you.
But one of the great things they're doing right now is they're donating $50 for every sale of a PC. They're donating it to Guardian Con, to St. Jude's. It's a great time to help out St. Jude's. They're also going to be providing a PC that they're going to build at Guardian Con at our booth, and they're going to be we're going to be raffling it off at the end.
That's right. He actually told me that he's going to build that PC while he's doing a handstand. So he's going to build it with his feet.
Right. Just his feet.
The whole PC.
Well,
that's crazy. That's crazy. I want to see that. So make sure to stop by the booth and check out this amazingly...
That's jingle-worthy.
Yes. Is that?
And yet... There is no jingle.
No jingle.
Apparently, I did say this. I completely forgot about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some Twitter questions. Thank you, On Air PC, for your sponsorship. We really appreciate it. All right. Let me get to the right spot. This is me asked, do you think there's any way at all Bungie releases Gambit early through Crucible Labs?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine so. It's not really a Crucible game.
Yeah.
No.
Crucible Labs is them like messing with stuff and testing things out. They're not unveiling, like
they're not changing the entire.
Yeah,
you have to download stuff for Gambit.
Yeah, Gambit is some hardcore new asset
like
right
levels
there
and stuff. Yeah, Crucible.
If they cannot use the Crucible Labs as a way to test Sandbox, there's no way that they can make Crucible Labs have Gambit and a new weapons law system.
Did anybody else lose all interest in Crucible Labs as soon as we found out the Sandbox?
Unless they bring Rift, I'll be like, oh, hey, I'll jump in Crucible Labs.
Yeah, I pretty much forgot about it.
Well, you're going to be able to get Valor now in Crucible Labs, so that's cool.
Well, if they bring out a cool mode, I'll hop on it.
Vengeance is my name says, what do you guys think of the current radar system in Destiny 2? Personally, I'm quite fed up with it. Do you think Bungie should take a note from Call of Duty and make it so you only show up on the radar when you fire your weapon? This would add a little more versatility to PvP. PvP in Call of Duty is a totally different thing because you have so many sound cues in that game that if you have a pair of headphones, you have a lot of awareness about what's going on.
You don't even need your
you.
map if you have a good pair of headphones.
Seriously, that's not true in Destiny 2.
I have personally always kind of been annoyed with the radar in Destiny. It's way too far reaching, and I feel like it's laggy. There's times where I'm like, it says somebody's right next to me, and they're not, and so like the radar just didn't catch up or something like that. I feel like if they retooled it, I'd be really happy. Yes, they need more audio cues. If they could do more audio cues and like tone down the radar scope so it's like more very localized instead of being across the map, I feel like it'd be better. But there's so many elements that are making up the problems with Destiny's PvP at the moment that you can't just say, well, we need to change the radar and that's it.
Yeah, I think I was pretty happy with the radar in D1. I feel like people are moving around so quickly and you could kill people so quickly that radar and seeing far reaching was, I could see, yeah, someone's coming from pretty far away, but quite quickly they'd be right on top of me, or they'll be in the air somewhere, or they'll be, it was just there's a person sort of in this direction, and it helped me know where they were coming from. But it was very easy to flank people in D1 and catch them off guard, even with that huge radar. I think we have a lot of problems in Destiny 2 that probably makes the radar feel even more annoying than it did in D1.
Day says, to incorporate more Crucible play to faction rallies, should Bungie take a page from Splatoon's Splatfest, where factions are pitted against each other?
They should do that in Gambit. I think it'll be perfect in Gambit.
That would be awesome.
That would be cool in Gambit.
That would be awesome.
You see the other team fully dressed in Dead Orbit gear, and your team's fully dressed in Future War Cult, and you're looking at each other through the glass.
Oh my God, that's an amazing
Before you go
idea.
in,
I love that.
It'll be cool. They should totally do that.
Ellie says, I've read people say if you don't do raids, why do you want max level? I'm casual, so I don't raid, but if max level is out there, why can't I want to achieve it? Especially now that 400 max is going to happen, but only if you raid. I mean, part of being a video gamer, especially in an RPG, not that Destiny is a super hardcore RPG, but there's RPG elements to it. Part of doing that is kind of chasing those numbers, right? And to be locked out of those numbers because you don't raid, I can see where she's coming from here.
You place the argument, though, that some things have to be out of reach for those players that are not.
That's true,
right? Hardcore player, the end game player. This is really like backwards day for us, you and me, Briar, because literally that's my argument right there. So the one you just gave is that there should be some pathway for every player to reach max light at some point. Even if it's a longer pathway, they have a pathway marked out in front of them, and they can plan their life and achieve it, albeit longer than somebody else who is able to grind it, and there should be rewards for those people as well. So
yeah, I mean, this is for the 400 light level thing coming from raids is only until Forsaken drops.
Yeah. Which is a month.
It's for 1 month, and you can get the armor. You can get 400 power level armor. You can get your armor good to go. You just can't get the weapons if you're not raiding. So I feel like 1 month is fine. It's like if you're raiding, here you go. He gets some 400 weapons. You're still going to be able to get armor. And like we said, the way the Bungie has taken it now is that if you don't raid and you don't do trials and all this stuff, you can still get to max light. It's just going to take you a little bit longer. Yeah. Which I personally think that is fine for me, where it's like, if you play all the content in the game and you do it on all 3 characters, you get the stuff faster. If you just have 1 character and you do it all stuff, you get it slower. If you just have one character.
You're not able to do the raids though, right? With this,
I mean, you can.
Setup,
you can go on LFG.
True, but if you're not,
you have that option.
If you're not doing the raids, the end game, right?
Yeah.
You're in a sense not able to get to max light.
You can get to max light.
How?
No,
The guns
get
and
to
armor is
400.
only
No.
dropping.
You can't get to 400.
Not for the
No,
month
but
of
that's for a
August.
month.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
1
it is
month.
for a month.
All right, I'm just.
Forsaken comes out, you'll probably get a blue that's 420, and you'll be like, "Oh, I guess it didn't matter."
Woo, 420.
we're gonna be able to be 420, guys. It's pretty exciting. It's the first time.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely take a screenshot of that.
Save your armor. Lock it away in the vault.
Just
Lock it
presenting
away
the
by
position.
420 set.
I think there's players that want to have that way of making that casual creep forward, and there with some armor and weapons are being the only pathway through. There should be a way that some armor and weapons are the faster way to get there, right? But if you choose to play, if you really like playing the game your way, you should eventually be able to creep your way up.
It does seem inelegant to lock light level away, or power level, sorry, away to just raiders to me.
Yeah.
It seems inelegant. Like raid weapons and raid armor, that makes more sense to me because
Objects.
they're raid rewards, right? They
Right,
come from the
rewards.
raid. But light level has never been really connected to the raid before.
Yeah.
And it is useful in other things outside the raid, like escalation protocol. But like Watts said, it's only for a month, really. So, and then Forsaken comes out, and like 400 is a totally arbitrary number. But it's something that at least when you're playing Destiny on the daily, it's nice to see the numbers go up.
Yeah.
Sure, and I guess that's my point also. With I've conceded the point with you guys that with the person that plays casually. There's some equipment, some guns, some shaders, some band items that are not achievable. That's fine. Those are for those hardcore players. But light shouldn't be that. That's all.
Yeah. It's not that they're unachievable, too. It's just that there should be rewards out there for... There should be a reason to play if you have a little bit of time, and there should be a reason to keep playing if you have a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So... by definition, it's often that the rewards for players who have a lot of time seem out of reach for the players who don't have a lot of time. But you still want to reward the players who do have a lot of time for their time investment. Yeah. So it's not that like I want things to be out of reach of some players. It's just that I want rewards to be out there for players who do have a lot of time. I want everybody to feel rewarded no matter how much time you put into Destiny.
Sure, and locking, and even if it's for a short period of time, I don't like the idea of this, and I don't like the idea of light level being the thing.
Light level has never been like the ultimate destination in Destiny. Like it has become that because of the fact that there is not really much else beyond that. But like we need a lot more horizontal progression. So once we hit max light level, there's a lot of other things that we work on, and they started that with Warmind, and I hope that they double and triple down on that with Forsaken. So we have a ton of horizontal progression. I hope the Awoken City has a bunch of endgame activities that are just like, oh, I want to go grind this, I want to go grind that, and I want to do the raid.
Yeah. Things like the sleeper node and like the escalation protocol and like those kind of things that aren't necessarily like tied to just the raid or just they don't fit into Destiny 1 boxes either. Mm-hmm. They're new activities. Like I want some new activities in Destiny for Christ's sake. I am kind of done with heroic strikes. I'm kind of done with nightfalls. Like I'm kind of done with doing the same fucking activities I've been doing for 4 years. When something new comes along like an escalation protocol, I'm really psyched about it because it's new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In Destiny 1, I never reached max light in any of the DLCs throughout the entire thing. I reached max light when the next DLC came out.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I need to go raid in Vault of Glass to hit level 30. I don't really want to do that right now. Guess I'll just be level 29. Oh, well. Like, it's just never bothered me. If I don't have the drive to go out there and get a group and do the thing to reach the thing that I want to get, then I'm not going to get it. And I'm
it's
okay
not
with
about
that.
Drive, Watts. I hate the negative connotation on that. It's more
not a
complicated
negative connotation
than that.
at all.
It is.
You know, in Guild Wars 1, I wanted to get my
energy to
rank
go
up
get
in
a group
PvP.
together.
I went and found a group to go do that PvP with.
But it's
like it's for a month.
All
it's
right, Watts,
1 month.
Remember when we said
1 month?
Remember when we said, "Oh, it's just a shader. It's just an emote in Destiny 1, whereas in Eververse." Remember that? And then now we've got Eververse now. So we can say it's just a month, but if we don't say that it's bullshit for this month, then it becomes longer in time. So is this a canary in a coal mine is what I'm saying.
We had this in Vault of Glass. Were you guys mad about it in D1 with Vault of Glass that you could only get to level 30 through a raid?
A lot of people were. It became a meme.
Yeah,
the Forever 29 meme. They ended up changing it so that you
my
could
position,
get level 30 through Iron Banner.
But man, there was a lot of people who raided every week.
There were. It definitely motivated raiding.
A lot of people who have very limited time to play want to be able to enjoy the aspects of the game that they can access. They're not going to be able to access everything, so they're already going to be locked out of certain armor pieces, certain weapons, and have made their peace with that, right? The Redrix Claymore is never going to be theirs. The armor sets from the raids are never going to be theirs because they don't have the time, and they're fine with that. They like playing Destiny their way, right? What I'm saying is that light level is an issue among your friends that play casually because it's the game that we play. Oh, what's your light level this week? And then when you jump into a party chat to do patrols, because that's what you do with your friends, when you play Destiny, you don't have much time to play. So you jump in, you do patrols, you do strikes, you do something like that. Then you kind of like go, oh, you're light or my light's higher. So it is an aspect of the casual gamer and the enjoyment they get from the game. They're playing the game the way they can. They want to still socialize with their friends. They still want to play. They know they're not going to get all this stuff. But what my point is they shouldn't make light level one of those things. So if I would feel remiss if I don't point out that this is bullshit. I don't want light level to be an aspect of any kind of grind, a connection to a casual player. You already got your Redrix Claymore. You already got your fucking armor. Don't do that with my light level.
I do agree multiple pathways are 100% what it should be. In fact, an elegant way that they could take care of this is make Nightfalls drop 400 weapons, 400 light power weapons. That way, like, somebody could do the Nightfall and get something right there for 400 power.
Yeah.
Didn't we have this issue? Didn't we just come off fixing this issue though? We had the thing of everyone can get to every light they want by doing anything you want. You want to do patrols only? You got it. Max light. Raid only? You got it. Max light. And then everyone complained about it. And then Bungie was like, okay, well, if you do all of your milestones and trials and raids, then you get to max light faster, but you still have a pathway to max light. It's just going to take you longer. We're going back and forth all the time. Play the game however you want, and then Bungie's like, okay, we want to make it to where maybe we get people out of their comfort zone, where maybe you don't go and play trials, but that's the way that you can maybe get a light level increase this week. So it makes you go into trials and find more friends. And we literally just did this.
Well, you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater, Watts. You got D2 was an overreaction, right? They went all the way the other direction. So but
they can still get to max light.
I mean,
my mom plays Destiny too. She doesn't play with anyone, and she plays for 5 hours a day. She has her Crucible, she has her Flashpoint, and she has her Heroic Strike, so she can do solo. Everything else you have to LFG for, and she's max light. And she has the Catalyst. If she wanted to go get a team, she could go and look for a team. There's ways for her to get it. I understand that you're talking about oh, well, it's only a month this time. I don't know. I don't.
All right. So we'll have this conversation in a year from now, Watts. It'll be fine. And I'm going to bookmark this conversation at this point when this is no longer when we have more of a.
You're saying
so angry, Pope.
You're saying that
I feel more comfortable when you're angry at me than when you're angry at Watts. I feel like Watts is putting forward a perfectly valid argument. You may not agree with it, but you're being kind of nasty about it, man.
Am I?
Yeah.
Well, it's just so.
How am I being nasty?
The thing is, if we come back to this conversation in a year and you cannot play Trials or Iron Banner or Raid or do Nightfalls if you can't reach max light, and guess what? You have to do raids to get anywhere near max light. Haha, you're locked out of all these activities. Then yeah, but that's a total different game.
Well,
we don't have that at all right now.
Forsaken is going to.
It is.
Trials and Iron Banner are going to take into account,
and that's fine. But we have had no indication at all that people are going to be locked out of max light, so that they can't go and do Iron Banner. right?
It's just
if that becomes the case, then yeah, that's not cool that people can't go and play the game and then go and do Iron Banner because they're 20 light under level because they can't go raid. Like, that's weird, but I don't see that happening to Destiny.
I guess hold on. The way I look at it, like August is just giving the hardcore fans a little bonus who have the time to be able to raid and do that stuff. Like, here you go. Here's a little bit of extra light level to get you ready for Forsaken. It's not going to matter much once you get Forsaken because you're going to blow past 400 light level within like hours. But I look at it like that. I don't think that they're trying to, like Watts said, they're not trying to lock people out of light level content if they don't raid.
Right.
Or don't do activities that require groups. I think, I'm pretty sure the designers want the game to be achievable for Max Light as a solo player.
Okay. Yeah,
it's
apparently...
It's what's weird about this conversation, too, is that I'm so apathetic about light level that I really don't have an opinion.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, this is the thing. I never cared. I literally said all through D1, right? I was someone who made content on YouTube about Destiny. All I did was play Destiny. I did not reach Max Light. I didn't give a damn. I could still be competitive in Crucible. I could still be competitive in Trials. I could still go do the raid. I could do the Nightfalls. That like 10 light or that one level that I was missing out on because I didn't hardcore raid and grind the raid didn't lock me out of all the other activities in the game.
But that's my point. Vanilla. You're arguing. Let me. That's my point. Is you're arguing a point that doesn't matter to you, and it matters to casual players. It's a step ladder in
How many
their
casual
game.
players are up in that area? Well, I guess Watts' mom is just a higher light level than me by like 10 points.
If you do milestones,
she doesn't care.
If you do milestones every week, it's actually not that difficult to hit Max Light.
Man, all right. Apparently, I'm allowed to argue with Breyer and I'm allowed to argue with Tefty, but if I argue with Watts, then I'm being an asshole. Okay, it's cool. You know what? We're all equal on this podcast. She can present her position just as well as anybody else. She's giving me a run for her money, and that's awesome. I want to hear Watts' opinion. She's phenomenal with in PvP, and she is a hardcore player. She has great positions, and she just nailed me on this. It's good.
Well,
this is what this podcast
is about. There's a lot of people that agree with you as well, Poe. Like, there's a lot of people that agree with you.
This is the Watts that I want all the time. That pins me to a wall and tells me that I'm wrong. That's good. I like it. And I may be wrong on this point. I just hope that I hope that I am, and that Bungie isn't going to start using this as a ceiling lock, right? So that's my point.
All right, let's keep moving. McGee the Beast says, it's been mentioned you want 3-tap hand cannons, but then what would be the incentive to use the current 3-tap 110s that I enjoy so much? Well, body shots?
Well, yeah, if it's like 2 headshots, 1 body shot for say DFA type. If you could get 1 headshot, 2 body shots, like that's kind of nice, right? Or if you could kill in 3 body shots, where the other person's trying to hit headshots. I don't know. I think you can always balance it. I think we're saying that we want that medium kind of range hand cannon to 3-tap, and of course they're going to balance it to where the higher, slower ones actually, kill.
Go Faster Than You says, so with the new jump in light level, fuck you, it's not power level. Should Bungie allow for a more aggressive power climb to keep the same crawl? We just had a long conversation about power level, so I'm just going to skip it. Stuart Allen Booth says, hi, peeps, great show. Now we have had the game on 3 platforms for a while. How many of you actually take advantage of that, and who exclusively is on PC? Not judging, just curious if you're on one platform. Is that because of time or just preference? Thanks, keep up the great work. I'm on one platform, pretty much. I'm just on PC. In Destiny 1, I always tried to maintain PS4 and Xbox. I was never successful at it. I could never do it. And I find the same thing is happening in here. Is I have enough time to do, one set of 3 characters, and it's on PC right now. And my PlayStation is just neglected.
I'm definitely largely on PS4, but I am making sure that my PC character keeps up. Because I want to be able to I want to be able to raid with you guys when Forsaken comes out, and I want to make sure I'm not like, oh, I don't have any guns, and I'm 50 levels behind. So, yeah, I'm definitely keeping up with PC, but I mostly play on PS4 just at the moment because there's more people on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, my PS4 gets all the love. I don't think I've touched my PC character in a little while.
So I've mostly been PC lately. At first, I was planning on maintaining multiple accounts, but then the grind, basically after Curse of Osiris, was kind of boring and not exciting. And now Warmind has brought out a lot of interesting grind, and I find it difficult to want to go back to. I played PS4 for the faction rally, and it's if there was a field of view slider, it would help considerably. So you could actually have a wider field of view and still 30 FPS. It would it would make things feel better, and you wouldn't feel like you're riding a bucking bronco every time you're shooting your midnight coup. But man, that can be difficult. But more importantly, though, like the Catalyst grind and stuff like that is has reignited things I want to grind for on PC, and I don't think I'm going to be able to maintain. It doesn't feel like I can maintain it, honestly. Multiple accounts.
For some reason, I don't have the drive in Destiny 2 that I had in Destiny 1 to make it the only game I play.
Sure.
I feel like to be honest with you, I feel like I kind of missed out on games that came out in like 2014 and 2015 that were fantastic that I just missed because I was so devoted to Destiny. And that I'm not saying like that was a bad thing. It's just that like I'm not in that place where I want to miss out on a Witcher 3 again, or like some really fantastic games that I just completely passed up. So like I'm more into just kind of playing other stuff. I play a lot of VR in my spare time. I play a lot of other games in my spare time, and I like that. I'm not just most of the time I put into Destiny 2 at this point is when I am streaming. It's like that's probably like I would say at least 80% of my time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is where the conversation goes to cross save. I mean,
cross save would be amazing.
So
cross save
nice.
would be great.
So dope.
It would be so amazing. I could play with so many more people in the community.
Mm-hmm.
I would buy another copy of the game tomorrow for the Xbox One. Like and then the Forsaken comes out, and I buy 3 copies of the Forsaken. I don't complain about it because like I get to play with people on every console. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm not even talking about crossplay. I just want cross save.
Just cross save.
Cross save.
It seems so silly not to have it, man. Whatever. The only thing I can think of is the in-game microtransactions, how one system wouldn't want to honor it on the other system.
Well, look what Sony's doing with Fortnite, and I think that gives you a pretty good clue why it's not there.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why they didn't do it, because Fortnite's free and a loot base, microtransactions heavy, and Sony doesn't wants to make all that money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So lame.
I'm gonna skip questions around a little bit because Tefty kind of brought this up in his answer to the last question. Hey, it's Rob says, what do you think Bungie could do to bring the console gameplay experience more in line with PC? Every time I watch PC gameplay, I cry a bit inside knowing I'm stuck with the crazy recoil and inconsistency you get with guns on PS4.
Yeah, the field of view is a big one right there. And they've even said that they've got a lot of GPU under the hood that they can work with. So I get that frames are tied to CPU cycles, so they can't have as many calculations for physics. But why not pop that field of view out? Like, if the field of view is wider, the recoil feels less aggressive.
Tefty, does that affect like the performance of the machines? Is like a Sony or Xbox console holding back field of view?
I mean,
possibly.
It's tough to say, really. I mean, like, again, you'd have to have one of the actual engineers who know under the hood, like why they do that. I feel like it was a decision for the feel of the game because it really puts you up close to the gun, so you feel like, man, you're really firing these guns in Destiny. But when you play PC, obviously, it's like, oh,
dude, when you showed me that at your house, Tefty, I was like blown away, man. Mm-hmm. The field of view is so much nicer on PC.
The issue with a wider
faster
field of view for console is that when it's wider, you have more things on the screen at once. Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at more AI, for example, consoles can a lot of the time not really handle that, especially in a game like Destiny. So it's rough.
I would very much hope that they're hearing this complaint about, field of view and 30 frames per second in Destiny 2. I hope that they're targeting 60.
I'm hoping they bring it for the Crucible. I'm hoping they actually bring in D2 Crucible on console, just bump it up. They can do that.
Yeah.
Like, they can do that. For PvE, it's a whole other monster, but for PvP, it's something that they could do.
Yeah, like frames and field of view, there's definitely not as many physics calculations that are going on with AI. There's no AI calculations going on except for Colony. People shooting Colony. So it would make PvP feel so much better because anytime I play PvP or when I play on the console, I first get claustrophobic because it's so narrowed in. And people always ask, like, hey, why is your character moving so much quicker on PC? And it's not. Yeah. It's moving the exact same speed. It's just the field of view making it wider appears to be running faster. I've even done tests on stream where I dropped the field of view to 70 and then moved, and it was like, it looks like I'm slower on screen.
That's crazy.
Well, it's also in terms of just making the game feel better on console and boosting it up. It's like I was saying last time, D1 just feels crispier. D2 doesn't feel as crisp, and that's a lot to do with the recoil that you're experiencing and the aim assist that they have said they brought down aim assist across the board. So if they can make that shooting feel like it was in D1, I think you'll end up realizing you would miss the field of view a little bit less. Like you won't be as focused on, we need the frames in the field of view because you have that D1 feeling of the gunplay, which unfortunately it's not there with most guns in D2.
It's true.
Brian Malecki says, should a Power Glove like peripheral come back? Imagine Destiny 3 launching with it. Tracks like the PS Move, so casting supers is done by your movements. We could all live out our inner David Samuel.
That'd be cool.
I want this guy to try out VR, man. Brian, come on over. We got to do VR together. We're going to have a ton of fun. Super Hot is going to blow your mind, man. It's so much fun. If you like the Power Glove, wait till you get into VR.
That's an interesting idea that that we could tie in movement. I wonder if they could tie in movement with like future versions of controllers, where you could conceivably.
What if you could move your controller like in 6 different axes? Like if you could like tip it and tilt it and like, or
and bop it.
What if you just had like your hands separated and you had two different controllers? Yeah,
listen,
they're almost like remotes.
No,
right.
I don't know about this.
Sounds too far fetched.
From a certain, no way. I will say those motion controls. I ended up killing a certain character on a certain Detroit Become Human because of those damn motion controls. I was like this, and the game was like, no.
Look, motion controls suck.
They're not right where they need to be right now.
No, in VR, they're amazing, right? Because they're very precisely tracked. But you have like sensors mounted to your walls to track your movements, or you got cameras pointed, like 3 cameras pointed at you from multiple angles to track your movements, and that's amazing. But
it's complicated,
like Wiimotes and 6 axes and
complicated.
The Kinect was a cool idea, but never really took off. Ray Odessa says, not knowing what you do about Destiny 2, do you think Bungie should have kept Destiny 1 and added expansions? Oh, now knowing what you do about Destiny 2, do you think Bungie should have kept Destiny 1 and added expansions to fix things instead of adding a sequel? P.S. Love you guys. Best podcast.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I think the game would be in a better state if they just kept on adding expansions.
A living world that grew and progressed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to agree. At the time, I really thought they needed a sequel to just progress. But I think what we got wasn't as good as what we had in a lot of ways, unfortunately.
It's like hindsight's 20/20 in this position. I mean, when we were back there in D1, we were like, give us new stuff. Yeah. Destroy our vault and our weapons. We want all new stuff. But, knowing what we got, I think, going back in time and saying, hey, maybe they just made it a progressive world that they built off of.
Yeah.
I think that's their biggest issue is that they don't just build off of what they have. Like I really hope that Forsaken doesn't just forget about the planets that we have right now, or just barely dips into some of those planets. Like I want things to change.
Yeah.
I want it to evolve. I want the public events to evolve. I want the like when the Taken showed up on the Taken King, that was a good example of going in the right direction. But then they just stopped right there. It's like evolve those places. Like have the EDZ become a different war zone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Put an escalation protocol on the EDZ.
Yes.
And a reason to go there. Like, yeah, definitely
Right.
use old assets. Like, reuse that stuff. I know people give them shit for reusing old stuff, but I like when they give us new reasons to go back to old places. Because when we get like a Curse of Osiris and we spend a month just farming Mercury and the the infinite forest, it gets old real quick.
Mhm.
It's fun to like kind of be traveling around doing different
It's
stuff.
what I'm kind of hoping the barons are, that the barons are kind of scattered all over the place in Forsaken, and you
Ooh,
go to like
interesting.
their playground and
Remember
fight them.
the Fallen in House of Wolves that you had
Yeah.
bounties from the Lady in the Reef, and you had to go
Yeah.
find them. They wouldn't tell you exactly where they were. I love that.
I feel like that's what it's going to be because we're hunting them, right? There's these barons we have to go down and hunt. That'd be really fun.
See,
That would be
The-
cool.
Ooh, I
The
hope
thing-
they nail that. I'm excited.
that's
for
the stuff that I want to see evolve, like on a monthly or bi-monthly type of process. Like when they have some sort of new event or a new season, the patrols need to change. The landscapes need, like the actual enemy compositions and all that stuff needs to change, and there needs to be new events that show up. Like with these faction rallies, the first time it showed up and those things popped up and you had to go and capture the control points, it was like, oh, this evolved. This is cool. This is different.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing every season. It's like, give us something else. Like I said, Escalation Protocol would be a perfect example. Put that on every single planet with a different type of flavor to it, different type of enemies.
Yeah.
That means every time there's a new event, I'm like, oh man, what happened to EDZ?
What's going to be the escalation protocol this time?
Yeah.
So the challenge then comes like with, for example, when Siva took over the Cosmodrome, right? And then thematically we fought back Siva and killed it. What happens if you buy the game after that?
What happens if you bought World of Warcraft after the Burning Crusade where they totally like redid
That's
the
a really
map?
good question. I wish Patrick was here to
Yeah.
answer
Somebody
that.
call Holtz real quick.
Yeah.
I think he's busy right now, though.
Running.
I just did the Warcraft code of the week.
You did. You did. So how do they keep those? They keep those worlds in Warcraft and World of Warcraft alive, and so that you can go back and play the game? And,
Well, what happens with Cade if you buy Vanilla Destiny in October?
That's good.
Yeah, there's got to be two instances, right?
There's
Right.
got to be.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be
So-
a Cade instance and a no Cade instance, right? Or does it?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I mean, is he going to still be selling treasure maps for people who
As a
haven't
ghost?
bought the Forsaken?
As like a hologram?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Or did they just say,
Interesting.
fuck it, Cade's not there even if you didn't buy the Forsaken? Sour stench flesh. Oof. What kind of sick, twisted individual do you have to be to take straight bites out of string cheese? I don't know, Sour. Like, you got to be really twisted. Really twisted.
Sounds like you're a really hungry animal that has to devour the food immediately.
Oh yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
No time to.
Briar, I just want you to
Savor
know
your food.
that I put this out on Twitter. That's a direct reference to me, and I am a very sick individual.
I
Yeah.
assume that you're a civilized individual who would do things like pledge to future war cult and peel the string cheese.
Yeah.
No. As a matter of fact, my wife and I were
shoulda
having this
known.
argument, so I put it out on Twitter. 498 people sided with me that you need to bite your cheese. Who's got time for stringing that crap? Who knows if your
That's the
hands-
fun of string cheese.
Wait.
Yeah.
What's your hands not clean?
Why?
Nobody got time for that. You just
That's
bite
the only
thing.
reason you get string cheese. Otherwise, you
And
just
then-
get normal
Yeah,
cheese.
you just cut a block
Only
of cheese off.
306 people sided with her.
Yeah.
String the cheese. So granted, I did kind of load the deck against her. I made hers the retweets and mine the likes. on Twitter, you know, most people don't like to retweet. But let's just say I won this thing. All right.
So this wasn't a vote. This was retweet for one.
Yeah, I did a retweet.
You stuffed the ballot.
I gotcha.
I did a little bit. I did use my knowledge of Twitter to win that argument. It isn't a straight poll. Given that I don't think that. I think if you had time to mess with your food, I'm not a child. I don't play with my food. All right. If I got
why are you
cheese on
buying
the side,
string cheese?
Yeah, why? That's a good question. Why are you eating string cheese if you don't want to take?
If you're not eating it in a string,
it's cheaper to buy a block of cheese than the string cheese.
It is.
I've got kids. There's string cheese all over the place.
So you're literally taking food out of your kid's mouth.
They come in like bags of like 2,000. You know, you've got like string cheese everywhere. Is
that even real cheese?
No, that's true. I can confirm.
Yeah, they come in like these they take up a vegetable drawer, and you're like, you just got to throw your effort
a drum
into
of string cheese.
But I actually think the cheese tastes better if you peel it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're getting more surface area or if like you're unlocking. There's something about
the secret sauce.
You know what I think it is? I think it has to do with the fact that there's more air in between, and there's there's different. The flavors get unlocked as you chew it, because if it's one block,
it's like pouring wine into a carafe and letting it sit and air out before you eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's something to it because it doesn't taste the same if you bite it.
I do agree. I've tried this because I've been like in a hurry, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm an animal," you know. And then I've been like, "Oh, I'm a sophisticated individual. I'm going to check this string cheese, and it tastes better."
It tastes better. It does.
You know what? It's psychological. The times that the times that you have to string the cheese are when you're calm and relaxed and you have cheese. Of course, things are going to taste better. The time that
maybe Pope, this is a sign that you need to stop and peel the cheese. You need to enjoy the life.
Man.
Oh, right? For no doubt.
You need to take a time out to peel the cheese every once in a while. Stop and peel the cheese.
Hashtag stop and peel the cheese.
Peel the cheese.
Peel the cheese. All right. Thanks.
It's Axe says, when Patrick comes back to the show, would he have to start doing the ad read again, or has he been fired by Breyer? No. Patrick ad reads were
highlights.
Magical?
Mm-hmm.
They were the best part of my week.
Look, don't ever tell Patrick I said this.
Never.
Please. But they were amazing. The dead cat ad read was possibly one of the highlights of this show, like of all time.
Yep.
It was amazing.
It's true.
Yep.
No. Patrick is not fired.
He's promoted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ziggy will kick Aldrin's ass asks, what are your daily beard routines? Well, you know what? We kind of went over this before, so I'm going to skip it. Thomas Funk says, we all know where he is right now, but where do you see Captain Patty in 5 years? Interesting. Where is he again this week? I forgot.
He's running a Hot Topic shop.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He's a
Hot Topic cashier.
He's assistant cashier at Hot Topic.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I think he might get promoted. I could see him
5 years.
District manager of Hot Topic.
Whoa.
in the greater Idaho area.
I honestly,
he's assistant floor manager.
I see him competing in the slapback tournament.
Oh,
forget being a judge.
Wow,
oh, man.
Be competing.
Wow,
that's his favorite thing is getting
coming out of retirement and coming back to competition.
Setting the record straight.
I think that's one of those things that he could be the winner. He could be the dark horse in that fight.
Right. Mm-hmm. He's the only competitor who competes solo too. There's no team. No team.
One is the
one competitor,
slapper. 2 cheeks, one hellacious slapback.
And he is now a movie producer of one competitor, 2 cheeks.
This is going to be epic.
Reverend Jimmy Love says, do you keep ketchup in the fridge or in the pantry?
I usually do fridge because I get the organic one. I don't know if you're supposed to refrigerate or not.
I don't know either.
Makes it last longer.
Does it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
You don't need to refrigerate it because it's not really made of real things.
Oh. Well, mine is.
Like, even bacteria doesn't eat ketchup.
Bacteria doesn't eat ketchup. Ketchup eats bacteria. Let's just be honest. Here.
Isn't there like vinegar and stuff in ketchup?
There's stuff in there that will.
Right?
I'll be honest,
Kill
I
whatever.
absolutely hate cold ketchup. It drives me insane.
I hate it too, Watts. I hate it. Like
I hate having a hot food and then like freezing cold ketchup ruins my night.
Look, I hear Pope. It's probably not good for me, but it's fucking delicious. And I love it. But I hate cold ketchup. So like if I get French fries, and they say, do you want ketchup with that? Even if I'm coming home to eat the French fries, I'm taking that ketchup because it's warm. It's warm ketchup. And it's superior to the ketchup that we, like fucking animals in this house, keep in the fridge.
It's apparently supposed to be refrigerated, but I never did.
It's really for your best health to keep it refrigerated.
I don't like cold ketchup.
I understand.
I don't like it either.
Yeah. I mean, and I like to not have foodborne illness.
True.
I've
Like
not
you can't
gotten
have
sick.
everything you want, Pope.
Sorry. I just try to control the things that I can, man.
I don't like fucking getting sick.
I don't think that's how I sounded, Briar. But you know what? I when I am sick, I am the biggest baby when I'm sick.
Oh,
And
me too, man.
I will stomp around the house.
You give me like a mild head cold, and I'm like in bed for 2 days.
Bring me, you get the bell. You're like,
I need a cracker and some Gatorade. Joe Arnold says, the end of the world has come. Only one of your guardians can defend it from extinction. Whose will it be?
Oh, of our guardian?
Our guardians.
Hold on.
Whose guardian?
As in Warlock, Hunter, or Titan? Or
No. As in Watts's Hunter, Warlock, or Titan.
Don't pick my Warlock or Titan.
Or
Don't
Popes.
recommend.
would it
Let's
be
say-
better
let's
as
say-
a fire team?
That's not the question.
I think you're reading the question incorrectly.
I don't see how that could be. I'm literally reading the correct question.
One more time.
Yeah,
It
but
says-
it's hard.
The end of the world has come.
Okay.
Only one of your guardians can defend it from extinction. And here's the clincher. Here's where I think the question really is. Whose will it be?
I nominate the
To
pumpkin.
save humanity.
I nominate my pumpkin.
How efficient is your pumpkin? I like looking at
Have
the
you seen
pumpkin.
that belly? That's efficient.
Keep me warm. Keep family warm.
Curl up next to it. Your pumpkin Titan does remind me of Watts. Who's that guy from Full Metal Alchemist? The knight.
Alphonse?
Alphonse a little bit.
You need to go
I can see
blue
that.
now, Tefty, so you could be Alphonse.
I'm sorry, guys. Not possible. The pumpkin's orange.
Well, then you're out of
All
it.
of my guardians make a habit out of killing other guardians with sparrows or barrels or with really whatever means are available. They'll teabag friends. They'll do basically whatever's on the plate as far as pissing off their friends. So let's just straight off, not my guardians. Pope
I
Bear.
don't know. I mean, it sounds like they're likely to end up
Sounds-
alone from all that.
It's like you're pretty savage.
I'm looking for a guardian who's going to save and protect me.
No, I need a guardian that's going
guardians
to
are
go
not
in there
those-
and murder everything. So I am
Yes.
protected and safe.
So that steers me toward your guardian. That steers me toward your guardian.
Well, I don't know.
But it kind of depends. Is this like what kind of apocalypse is this? Is this a zombie apocalypse?
If it's a thrall apocalypse, I tell you, my sunshot will destroy. Oh.
Yeah. If it's like have you guys ever read The Road, where it's mostly an apocalypse with
Yes.
just ill-meaning people? I want
Yes.
Watts as Hunter. If it's a zombie apocalypse, I think I gotta steer toward Tefty's pumpkin
A
Titan.
pumpkin, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I could steal his armor and be safe from the zombies.
But I'm the last one, though.
Yeah, you're the.
Well, now I'm the last one because I stole the fucking
Because
armor.
I stole your belly, and now I am safe.
So you're saying your guardians are thieves?
No, my guardians aren't there. It's me and your guardian.
Oh, like a buddy.
Yeah, the buddy system.
I think we're going to
The
need
apocalypse.
clarification on this question.
All right, can you
Yeah.
come back
This
to
is
us?
another one where you can you
Joe
set the
Arnold,
scene?
next week we're going to need a little help on this one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We're gonna need a definition of what exactly kind of apocalypse it is.
Yes.
Yep.
And also how many people are with this guardian, and do we have to choose one person's guardian or one guardian from our collection?
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of clarification here, Joe Arnold. We're gonna be looking for you next week in the Twitter. Absolute Zero says, "Marry, fuck, kill, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries." Strawberries, I marry. I love strawberries, and I can eat them all the time. I mean, they're good. They're good in ice cream. They're good on strawberry shortcake. Strawberries are great, like, all the time. Blueberries, I'm gonna fuck because I like blueberries, but I don't like them every day, right? Blackberries, I'll kill them. Fuck them.
I don't think I can remove the possibility of a delicious fruit bowl from the equation.
We're gonna smush them up, mix them up, and marry all of them.
Yeah.
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 All of
That's
it.
what we do.
All of the above.
Yeah, I'm not gonna differentiate among my fruit. I
You guys
like them
are
all.
riding the fence harder than Josh on the dead orbit question. Nice job.
That's just how it is, man.
You're-
I'm serious. As soon as I said the question, I was like,
A little balsamic vinegar, a little bit of sugar, throw them together, delicious.
Twig 1987 says, "Who are you guys rooting for in the World Cup?"
the one that hits the ball goes in the thingy.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big fan of pint cups. They're my favorite size cups.
Oh, you're right.
Steins are also awesome, but expensive.
Sure.
Steins are cool. Are they classified as
Steins are-
cups? They're definitely World
That's a
Cups
cup.
because they're from Germany.
It's definitely
sure.
a cup.
I want the sports ball team that has the best cups.
Worldliest of cups.
Yes. It's exciting to hear about some of the Cinderella stories so far. All joking aside, I think it's really great to see. The World Cup is always a fantastic platform right now. See how happy Mexico is to be in it, and to have South Korea in it, to take out the future, last year's champions of Germany. It's freaking amazing. And
It's
to
great.
Cinderella story.
Honestly, to see the Mexican people go over to the South Korean consulate and start cheering and chanting up and saying, "You're us for now. You're among us." I think that kind of world stage.
Now I gotta look at the news because I had no idea about this. This sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is cool, man. Like
There was something even more awesome.
What's that?
Was the video on Twitter that went very viral of a person from Senegal and a person from Japan, and they sang the One Piece opening song together called We Are. So they sang this song together, and they were putting their arms around each other, and they were singing the song, and it was a really good show of two people from completely different places coming together because of the World Cup and singing anime songs together.
I mean, I have to disagree that the Mexico-Korea thing
No, this was
way more awesome.
No. This was way better than that.
That sounded awesome if you love anime.
No, it was awesome.
And that's a pretty big if.
Yeah, to see the South Korean ambassador and the people from there come out and join the Mexican people with this chant. I don't know. It's cool. The point is that the World Cup is kind of like the Olympics.
It's bringing people together.
It brings people together. It stops the politics for a little bit. It's just about sports. It's about the thing that I don't like to see is where the countries start to where people try to politicize something like this. That's what bothers me. It keeps sport pure, keep sports, stay out of it.
That's it for questions. That was the last one.
Nailed it.
We had a Skype question.
We did. Where is it?
Bonus
Skype
question.
chat, where it always
Encore
is.
question.
Oh. Pope, why don't you just start reading these? Because I always seem to forget. Why don't we just make it your thing?
I don't like the thing.
Pope
I like
Bear's
you doing
Corner.
the thing.
The Pope Bear's Corner. I like it. Get a little pipe. Get a robe.
Oh, that'd be great.
Get a big chair.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da, Pope Bear's Corner.
I don't know what dance this is, but it's the one I do in
Some sort of jig.
Here it is. All right. Taylor asks, what is your most favorite and least favorite sense of soap? Liquid or bar?
Not gonna lie, I get a lot of coconut stuff.
Yeah?
I buy a lot of coconut scented things.
I'm into
I'm a fan
tea
of
tree
coconut.
oil smelling stuff.
Tea tree oil is
Really?
good. Coconut and like rose smell. I like those smells.
I like
those a
lemon hand soap, especially because it just
Makes you feel clean.
extra clean, right? It's like soap made me feel clean. Lemon soap made me feel cleaner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Funny. Memes loves lemon smelling cleaning products like soaps, all that stuff. She can't get enough of it. I'm more on the coconut side for me as well. If I have a really good coconut bar of soap, I'm like I'm excited to use that bar of soap.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Irish Spring was not lost on me either. I don't know that anybody names anything Irish Spring in 2018, but I always appreciated the Irish Spring.
It's a good
Irish
smell.
Spring was a good one. That was a universal one that you could use. That I used for most of my like college life.
Yeah.
I was introduced to there's a certain brand of Aveda products. They have a tea tree oil like stuff that's I don't know. For some reason,
I don't
started
even
using it.
understand tea and tree in the same sentence. What does that smell like?
Goodness. You don't know what it smells like, really?
Nah,
You really need to get.
Really
Oh
potent.
wow.
Strong.
It's
We'll buy you a
that's not what I'm looking for out of my
body.
soap.
Tell you, man, there's a tingle that happens. You got to be careful with
That's
that
what
stuff.
I'm looking for out of my rat poison. Potency.
Briar, we're
my
gonna
God.
put together a nice little bath basket. We're gonna give it to your guardian.
Yeah.
You can have a little nice
It'll be in
little
your
tea tree
hotel
bubble
room.
bath. Yes.
Watts, you and I will work on this. It'll be in your hotel room. You are required to use the products that are in said bath while you're there.
Yes.
Will you agree?
The man loves a good bubble bath.
All right. We're on, Watts.
There we go.
got this.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
We'll just ask Tomo and he'll help. He'll do it. Well, that's a good
That the
show, man.
podcast?
We had
Yeah,
a little
that's
bit
it.
of we
That's
had
a
a bit
long
of drama
podcast.
for the first time. I'm not like mixing it up with Briar. I got a little Watts Pope
Well,
action
That's right. You
here.
mixed it up a little.
Pope.
Well, when
Yeah,
when you and Briar fight, it gets a little scary. It's time for me to evacuate because someone's gonna set the house on fire. It's very scary.
Yeah, I consider
I
hitting
feel
the
like we're
stop
just
streaming
both
button.
passionate
You're like-
people.
Well, that's what this show's about, man.
Yeah.
Briar
about-
will body slam you. He is a
Yeah.
professional wrestler.
Yeah.
When anytime Briar gets into a battle,
Yeah, pro wrestler.
oh man, I'm fearing for the
Yeah.
life.
If there's no
And the fact
ammunition
is that-
involved,
The fact is that we're all like really good friends. And if you're not able to have those kind of conversations with your friends and then walk out of it still friends, then I mean,
You should see the shit I start after 6 beers.
oh my
I'll
God.
start an
Briar.
argument about anything. I don't give a shit.
Dude, Saturday at Guardian Con. Are we ready to talk about that?
I think so, right?
yeah, the
Yeah.
meetup.
Is it a done deal?
It's a done
Yeah.
deal. So we have a meetup, guys.
Like, can we say where it is, or is
Let's
it still a
just
risk
double-
that somebody could?
Yeah, we need
Okay,
to
so-
double check
okay.
on the location, but with this, yeah.
All right, so it's going to be
So-
Saturday, but we're not sure. We
Saturday
know where,
evening.
but we haven't booked it. We're not sure it's booked
Yep.
yet, so we got to wait.
Yeah.
Yep.
We gotta try to carve out some time for us. We're gonna do a meetup at Guardian Con Saturday night. We'd love to see you all there. And make sure you buy Briar a beer. He gets funnier after 6. So let's
That's right. I get really touchy too, so look out.
Watch out.
Look out for the wandering hands.
Wrestling pro.
He's a wrestling pro with really strong hands. So
And he'll be smelling like tea tree, so it's
yes,
Ah, yeah.
this one's good.
better.
Delicious, man.
We got this. We're gonna get you some cologne. It's gonna be good.
So that's the podcast, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. This has been my name is Tefty Teft, and you can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. And catch my streams, twitch.tv/Tefty Teft. I stream Friday through Wednesday, typically.
Now I feel like you're just trolling us.
6 p.m. Pacific time, give or take a bit.
Yeah.
I'm
Always
Brian
a
Rabbit.
good
You
time.
can find me at. Actually, I've been doing weird videos lately. For some reason, I've been like
Wrestling videos?
transitioning
Are you
unintentionally.
transitioning to red pill videos?
What? Red pill? What's that?
Yeah, let's not talking about it. Briar's the new up and coming controversial YouTuber.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Are you doing clickbait titles and everything?
Yeah.
I'll leave it there. I don't know what she's talking about, but check out my YouTube channel. I'm going to be checking it
For
out. So I can't
retro
wait to
videos.
tell
I'm
what
curious.
she's talking about.
All right.
It's me.
Yeah.
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
And this has been Pope Bear. You can find me on the Twitters at Pope Bear, and make sure to follow the podcast handle at DCP_live on Instagram and Twitter. We're going to be posting some really cool clips of the, just highlights from the podcast up on the new Instagram platform. We've got or is it Snapchat? We got them both.
All of them.
All of them.
Everywhere.
Things. And just to give you a heads up, next week we've got St. Jude's on the podcast. We've got a representative from St. Jude Live that's going to be talking about what's going on the Guardian Con stream and where the benefits of the charity are going, and talk to us a little bit about what they're doing there over at St. Jude's. We're also going to have Alex from Guardian Con. He's the event manager. He's going to be coming and talking about some of the stuff that they've got planned, the floor plans, like what vendors we're going to see, where to go, give you some tips and tricks.
Actually, Pope, we had a meeting, and what we're going to do is have them interview us. It's going to be, we're mixing up the format next week. Really switching it up.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Okay, great. We had a meeting about that. So it's going to be fun. Just make sure to stop by, and next week it's going to be a great show. The live stream, our charity block live stream, is going to be Sunday, July 8th at 9 a.m. Pacific, and we are going to be streaming for 4 hours. We've got some great prizes that you're going to want to be a part of. We've got some great goals incentives too. Apparently there's some sort of Taco Bell eating contest or something.
There is. There is a
going to
Taco
be
Bell
interesting.
contest.
We've got some fun cosplay ideas for the podcast.
We have cosplay. By the way, guys, if you want to see our group as a cosplay, please feel free to tweet any of us or all of us or everything and let us know which kind of cosplay you'd like to see. Because maybe we'll all be dressed up.
Cohesive group, right?
Yes.
Like a Power Rangers group, but
like
without
maybe
the helmets.
we'll all
Or it could be a fun mashup if someone has a neat idea.
If it's something fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we can all be like magical or girls. That could be.
If you've got an idea for
I don't know what that is, but you had me at magical girls.
If you got an idea for the different levels, make sure to tweet at us. We're looking for whatever can be fun for us to be a part of and maximize, those people that can donate and, raise more money for St. Jude's. So, and also a reminder that next week so we've got the podcast the following week, the week of Guardian Con. We've got a different schedule. We're not going to be doing the live show on Thursday. We're going to be doing it on Saturday at Guardian Con Live. And so not really sure if we can broadcast that live out yet. We're still waiting for the details. At the very latest, you'll get it up on YouTube on Sunday. So we're not sure if we can broadcast it live to the internets on that day or not, but I'll tell you if we can. But
we'll figure out a way to at least get it uploaded, right?
Right. And then so one of the cool things, is on Wednesday, July 11th, we do another podcast where we talk about all games. It's called the Side Quest Podcast. And we are going to be doing our first live show at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, July 11th. And we're going to be interviewing and hanging out and talking to Jason Schreier from Kotaku. So make sure to join us for all that stuff. We got a lot of things going on.
That's going to be real interesting. That's the guy who wrote Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. He's the guy who, figured out that Destiny 2 had been delayed. He's broken a lot of big stories about Destiny and many other games. It's going to be a real interesting conversation with him. We're also like a little bit of like kind of business. We're also going to start breaking out the off-topic podcast into its own podcast feed. So if you're just into Destiny and not into the off-topic podcast, or you're just into the off-topic podcast and not into Destiny, then they'll be in two separate feeds. But I think we're going to keep them combined and have a separate off-topic feed for a while.
That's right.
And then eventually the off-topic feed will just kind of leave the DCP feed.
Yep.
So
it's going to be cool. You're going
watch
to get
for
an
details on
opportunity to jump into another avenue of so you can decide to which channel to listen to. It's going to have its own RSS feed, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll always
Any
be on the
other-
same YouTube channel though. So
Any other like news things we want to talk about?
when are you guys getting into Guardian Con? Are you guys flying in on Thursday night?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That
I'm
evening.
flying in on Wednesday.
That's big news. I haven't booked my hotel yet. That's big news. I think I should probably do that like right away.
Yeah. I want to get that taken care of.
That's probably a big thing.
Yeah.
We're not that far away. Let me tell you guys, I ordered all the T-shirts. We have a limited edition T-shirt that is going up for Guardian Con that I'm going to be announcing. We're going to show pictures of it on Thursday, next Thursday when St. Jude's, when St. Jude's is on the podcast. But we've got the poster is complete and went to the printer. The T-shirt is complete, and we're only selling a limited edition of those. We only have 200 of those. They're going to be
Not many.
only sold at Guardian Con, and it's going to have it's an event T-shirt. So make sure to. But the poster we are going to be selling online. So you're going to get a chance to get the poster through if you're not going to be able to go to Guardian Con. But
Yeah, you can still get
lots
the
of stuff to
poster.
talk
And the
about.
poster is beautiful. So
Yeah,
if
the
you can't go to
poster is dope.
Guardian Con and you can't get that shirt, you can still get that amazing poster by Ash.
I still have the poster from last year. I love the poster from last year.
It's
I
so
can't wait
good.
to have like 2 of them now.
It's beautiful. Yep.
I have 50 that I will be bringing to Guardian Con.
From last year?
From last
From
year,
last
some
year.
OG posters.
Some OG
Oh.
posters. So some lucky people are going to get an opportunity to buy them both.
Maybe we should bring them to the live podcast.
Ooh, great idea. So if
Good
you
idea.
want to come see us live, you may just get your hands on one of the OG posters from last year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's gonna be-
maybe.
Maybe.
If I don't get my hands on them first and sell them on the black market.
All right, guys, this has been a blast, man.
Yep.
I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
That's the podcast.
This was a good show.
Thank you very much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. We are going to roll some credits and then be back with some sub readouts. So thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.